No, you didn't. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Go Live. What was that intro? BG hasn't even seen what Jack did. When you go back and watch it, BG, you will see some slanderous behavior. Thank you both, gents, for joining us. What will be an epic show as always. BG's, I can see from your face.
Jack always on some fuck shit. Yeah, okay.
BG, what was that? When I saw that, I was crying, bro. I was like, that is not BG. And when we sent it to the graphics design guy, he's like, bro, is this okay? Jack is pointing a knife at someone. And he goes, that's BG. He goes, are you sure? It doesn't look like BG. Is that you, man? You look like is that prepubescent BG?
That's college days. That's like a hot 12 years ago, bro. And I don't even know how people around me are weird. They keep pictures of me. I think some of them got pictures of me when I was still a teenager. Y'all a little bit weird for that.
What trying to say about Jack, bro? He's just like, he held on to that for his archive.
Hey, man, quick Google search, man. That's all. Look, quick Google search. That's all it took, man. I don't know.
Bro, I didn't do my research on you. I didn't know you were a Nintendo stan, BG. What is that? Little Triforce hat? Bro, you protected your virginity hard during your teen days with that hat on.
That was my era of trolling Nintendo fans, though. That's what that was. Trolling Nintendo fans, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, they just probably embraced you after that because they dressed like that. But yeah, before we do that, sorry, we jumped into conversations. We haven't done the intros. Asa, how are you?
I'm brilliant. I'm living the dream today. I've achieved. It took me a good 15 years to do this, but I got my whole family playing games today, and it's been wonderful. Looking forward to this one. I've met BG before. I've not met Jack Move Johnny, and I'm confused as to whether it's a Jack or Johnny as a name now because you've been going with Jack, and I would have guessed Johnny. So either way, you can tell me in a minute, but I'm looking forward to it. We'll get into it.
Yeah, definitely, man. I can't wait to get into it. And we both have had the pleasure of being on BG's Weapon Wheel podcast. It is a wild show. It is one of my favorite shows. And on that note, BG, why do I keep doing that? Wait, let me turn that off. Sorry, I pressed the wrong one. I meant to do this. How you doing, BG, man? Welcome back to Go Live, man.
Good, man. I'm good, man. Appreciate being on. Let me just say this, all right? I listen to a lot of podcasts, right? And Jack actually, slanders me because I'm very liberal with the gaming podcasts I listen to. I listen to damn near everybody, but I have been lately. I've been a little bit more selective about which podcasts I listen to, and yours is one of them. Weekly, it's in the selection.
I appreciate it, man. And likewise, I'm the same. And I always tune in. It is the one show, we were saying this in the green room, the one show where I just I've never laughed so much. Me and Doc Dark will DMing each other in the background. Like, it's fucking crazy. What is going on? The shit you say emboldens me to say the stuff I say. I'm like, if they can get away with it, what the hell? Talking about what was that Japanese developer who wants to die? It is just what? I can't repeat it. But you have to check out Weapon Wheel podcast. Most of you in chat will probably know Weapon Wheel podcast anyway. But yeah, shout out to you. And another panel member who actually I had beef with. Do you know why I had beef with? Jack Moves Johnny. That's the only time we were in a space we were cussing each other rawly over that what's his name? Blaze 4K, you cock. I think, but to be fair, you did the same thing I did. So long story short, Blaze 4K came out, Colt. I was defending him, and then we were in the spaces, but Blaze is my boy, man. He's close as well. And in hindsight, shouldn't have defended Cole, the piece of shit.
Imagine fighting defending that Italian Blaze. Imagine out of all people, you getting a fight.
He's my guy, man. I had to do it, man. You know what I mean?
Blaze is like a brother as well, man. To me, I am very close to the guy. And in fairness, and I said it live on the show when Blaze was on. I apologized to him because it was my bad. I shouldn't be fighting other people's battles. It's when your friend is being murked. It's but I'm very naive. I'm new in this space. Half the people don't even get on in this space. There's so much fucking politics. But I'm glad you're here because when I got you two guys on, a lot of people were like, "Oh, I thought this is an Xbox podcast." We're not an Xbox podcast. We are every podcast. Yes, I'm an Xbox guy, but we are not an Xbox podcast. But Jack, man, thank you for coming here. Welcome to your debut.
Hey man, appreciate y'all for having me on the show, man. You know, it's your boy Jack Move. I go by Jack, you know, you call me Jack, but yeah, it is Johnny, but you can call me Jack, you know what I mean? You can call me either way, don't really matter. But I'm here to tell BG why he's wrong on numerous topics like I do every week on the Weapon Wheel podcast. You know what I mean? You know, it's normal for me. So we just doing it a day early. That's all. That's the only difference.
That's it, man. I know. I can see the dynamic between you two, and there's a lot of conflict, which I sometimes I love. I definitely love. So yeah, we can't, and I'm sure there'll be conflict galore in this chat, possibly with me, because I have some views on some of the shit that's going in the space. Quite funny. It's going to be fun. Don't hold back. That's my advice. Just be yourselves and just go raw, which I don't need to tell you. But we'll start off with an agnostic question. No console warring, nothing. What have you guys been playing, BG? You play a lot of fucking games. What are you playing right now? Your cat on camera.
So yeah, always harassing me.
so cute.
Bruh, I haven't played anything besides Resident Evil since it came out. I did because I've been trying to get the platinum, and to get the platinum in Resident Evil 4, you need like bare minimum 5 or 6 playthroughs. So
what?
I just it requires like 5 or 6 playthroughs because you got to beat the game, then you got to do a speed run. Technically, you're probably not going to be able to do the speed run, beat under 8 hours, unless you're like a professional speed runner the first time. So you got to beat the game, beat it on professional, do a speed run. You got to do a run where you don't talk to the merchant and you only use knives and handguns. So pretty much like all the trophies, like a bunch of the trophies just require like their own individual runs, and that's why they say it's probably like 5 or 6. So it's crazy. I just finished I'm halfway into my third run, and I have 75% of the trophies, and like 2 or 3 trophies require like their own playthrough. So that's all I've been focusing on.
Do you like that the game makes trophies into like multiple playthroughs? Do you like the fact, because I know you love the game. We obviously love the game.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite games of all time. Of all time. That's why I have to get it. I hate speedrun trophies. I think speedrunning, I give speedrunners credit, man, because I think it's the most just stupid shit in the world. Like I hate the process of, my bad. I don't know if the algorithm going to detect that, but yeah, I just hate the process of speedrunning.
You can swear here,
right? Because it's like I just don't feel like you can really enjoy the game while speed running, because time is always on your mind. To some of them who professionally do this, they can do it in like an hour and a half. They use a lot of glitches and glitches and stuff like that to phase through walls and that type of stuff, and they know all the shortcuts. But just the process of just rushing through a game as fast as possible, I think they need to ban speedrun trophies in games.
I agree with you.
Difficulty and stuff like that.
I think so too. Well, I'm a bit biased there, but did you ever play? What was that game, Asa? That I had a pretty crazy, like sweaty time that I was trying to beat Jeff Grubb at. They're just based on
Neon White, something like that.
Neon White. Yeah, that was a good game. That kind of opened my eyes up to speedrunning as a game. You liked it as well, Asa, didn't you?
For like 10 minutes, yeah. Then I realized I couldn't beat Jeff Grubb and I stopped playing.
Yeah, shout out to Jeff Grubb, bro. I spent hours trying to beat his time. I was top 200 in the world. I beat all of Gaz's times, obviously, but not Jeff's. Apart from that one. But yeah, man. Resident Evil, I'm on Resident Evil 4 right now as well. But I spent like hours today just playing Dead Space Remake, because I need to play that before I play Resident Evil. I was hopping between Resident Evil 4 then Dead Space, and I'm like, they're both survival horror games. One is definitely more scarier than the other, and the answer is obvious, Dead Space. But both incredible games. And I'm not a massive I didn't think I was a massive survival horror game until I started playing these two, because I was a multiplayer head, which I will get into with you, by the way, BG. And I know you and Jack have a little conflict on this point. But Jack, what have you been playing, bro?
Hey man, it's a trifecta, man. All I've been playing is Resident Evil 4 remake, man. That's the only thing I've been playing.
Everyone's playing that.
Yeah, I haven't beat it yet. I'm digging the game heavy. I just played Resident Evil 4 originally in 2020, right? That was my first time ever playing Resident Evil 4. So,
Oh shit! Okay.
yeah. So the remake, I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it. It's definitely the best remake I've played in a very long time. When you compare it to some of these other remakes that came out, but
Yeah.
hey, it's a fire game. Loved it.
Well, which remake are you alluding to? What about the Last of Us remake?
It's definitely better than the Last of Us remake. It's better than the Dead Space remake. And I was talking with BG about this. I would say I prefer the original Dead Space over Resident Evil 4, but with the remakes, I got to go with RE4. Definitely better.
I don't know. I haven't got that far in RE4 completely, like first chapter, maybe second. So I don't know. But when I play Dead Space, it's just so smooth, so beautiful, and just the Ishimura. Just I don't know. But the thing with Resident Evil 4, the remake is Resident Evil 2 and 3 were such a big jump as a remake. Those were like, from isometric, whatever, the fixed camera view that we used to play in the PS1 days. It's like hard. I don't know. I don't know which one's better. But they're incredible games, and I almost made me. I was playing it today, and I was like thinking about the show, and I was thinking, I was pretty against this remake shit, man. This whole generation has been like a regurgitating all of that, those older experiences.
I disagree with that. Stop smiling, Jack. I disagree with that.
Hey, he see it.
That's BS. I don't subscribe to that notion.
Why? Go on, man. We need fucking new experiences, man. BG, you're playing games we played 10 years ago.
We're getting new experiences.
And you didn't. How many times you played? You ain't told them how many. They don't know you in RE4. You done bought that game.
I've beaten Resident Evil 4 on almost every single platform it came out on. That's how much of a fiend for the game I am. I've beaten Resident Evil 4 more than any other game ever in probably history. For me. So. But listen, that's not true. Like Wolong came out, y'all got Hi-Fi Rush, y'all got Hogwarts. There are new games coming out. Y'all gonna stop this agenda talking about all we're getting is remakes. No, in y'all head, all we're getting is remakes. Y'all ignoring all the new stuff. We're getting plenty of new stuff this generation.
How about that? The best games.
That's true, man.
No.
The best games this so far are like what? Dead Space remake and Resident Evil 4.
I just rated all that.
I don't think it's fair to compare because it's like this, right? Imagine somebody creates something that was perfect 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And then you travel to the future with all this new technology. All you have to do is take something that was already perfected, add all the new technology to it. It was perfect before. You don't have to do nothing to it. So all you got to do is add all the the bells and whistles. And then you got an even more perfect game. So that's why, when people be like, all the best games are remakes and they're comparing it to original games, I just don't think that's a fair comparison because original games and new IPs are just like they're kind of like a prototype. It's the first time you're doing this, right? They
call it a prototype. RE4 and GameCube was a prototype to you?
No, I'm not saying What I'm saying is now, I'm saying original games typically. Most first games aren't like the perfect formula, right? Yeah. It's usually sequels, and you got to think about it. Like Capcom, they were up to 4, right? So they had plenty of time to perfect the Resident Evil formula. So and then now like I said, you jump so much more years. They had more time to perfect the formula and add all this new tech. So comparing it to original games now, I just don't think that's fair.
BG is blowing smoke up y'all ass.
I'm not.
This is why you're arguing.
The prototype thing I got me. Yeah,
exactly. So the Dead Space remake, which is a remake of an original game that was the first game in the series. Last of Us remake was the first game in the series.
Okay.
So if those games can launch and be considered masterpieces at the time of launch, why aren't we looking at these newer games as launching as masterpieces? You know what I'm saying? Hey man, there's a clear decline in game development and gaming overall. But
I disagree, good sir.
That's another topic for another day. I digress.
That's a good point, though.
I disagree. First of all, I don't think the first Last of Us was a masterpiece.
See, this is why I don't like BG. He say
wait, wait, hold on. So the first Last of Us was not a masterpiece.
No.
You think the remaster is, or the remake?
I would say it's much better. Obviously, because look, I was saying, and they torch me for this now. Because that was 2013, I chose Tomb Raider as my game of the year over Last of Us. It's a better game.
Tomb Raider is be talking. He don't even realize.
It's a better overall game.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
It is a better overall game. If you want to debate story, that's a different thing. But as far as gameplay goes, Tomb Raider in 2013 was vastly superior to Last of Us. Gameplay mechanic wise, you can't debate it. It can't be debated.
What? Okay,
so just to
gameplay-wise,
back him up there, like The Last of Us, when it came out in 2013 on the PlayStation 3, I did not finish it because I did not enjoy it. I thought Tomb Raider was phenomenal when it came out, and played that and loved every minute of it. And I'm not saying this to really downplay Last of Us. I know a lot of PlayStation people are like, that's sacrilege, and they probably hate me now. Fine.
Jack's like, yep.
I just mentioned I hate you already.
And just to put it out there, Last of Us might not have even been the second best game to come out that year. You had BioShock came out that year, and I think GTA 5 came out that year. I'm just saying. I'm probably choosing BioShock Infinite. I think GTA 5 came out that year. It came out so many times you forgot the original date.
It came out 2013.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. You know what? I remember this conversation. I remember Ace of the GameOnDaily little roundtable. You actually you wrote an article on about Tomb Raider being so good. I'm pretty sure I remember your views. I love
the first of the Tomb Raider, and the whole trilogy is really, really good in terms of gameplay. But the first one nails the character development as well, and I really enjoyed that reboot because I wasn't a fan of old pointy Lara. But 2013 was a brilliant game. I loved it.
Lara.
That's not quite the words I use, but yeah.
You're alluding to her breasts. Tomb Raider 1 will always have a close place in my heart. But okay, well, BG, that's a bit of a shock. So you don't consider The Last of Us a masterpiece at all? That's the first at all? Like that's just a good game in your opinion?
I think 2. I probably put 2 in my top 10, top 15 games of all time. But one is like not even in the top anything for me.
That is interesting. That is very interesting. I think, remember, last gen, people don't know that we've been going on for 13 years, but then we stopped. Where we had these roundtables, and there was a bitter discussion about GTA 5 as game of the gen and The Last of Us. And I had so much argument with a former friend who was a massive PlayStation guy, like hardcore. And I had just relented in the debate and said, you know what, fine, I'll give The Last of Us the win because it made such a big impression. Because game of the year, what is game of the year? What is game of the gen? It's the impression that leads. What does it do? But in hindsight, I was wrong because GTA 5 had longer legs till now. Like it's still going. So yeah, and Rockstar on another level. But here we go. All right. Well, okay. So by the way, I'm just being antagonistic for the sake of it, for being a devil's advocate. Yeah. I agree with you on the remakes point. Sorry, Jack. Only because I'll word it better than BG did it. Those games, like the prototypes, I understand where you're coming from. The technology's come to a point where the worlds like the Ishimura, if you see in Dead Space, now realized in a way you could see it marries up with the kind of concept art they would have drawn up for it. It's just like it was technically proficient then. Resident Evil 4 looked great then. Now it looks way more better because of whatever technological advancements, physics, blah, blah, blah. So I just think remakes do have a place because now we get to experience these incredible stories that still prove that they hold the test of time. And today, like Resident Evil 4 getting a 92, 93 meta today is significant. It means the gameplay design has not aged. I don't know if that was better worded than you, but I'll take it. But yeah, so that's yeah. So Jack, man, don't worry, man. We'll get a lot more remakes coming soon, and you'll change your mind. When Horizon Zero Dawn does not need a fucking remake, man.
That's fake.
5-6 years, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That is stupid. The game still holds up technically. There's hardly many games that hold up close to it visually, technically. Why does that need a remake? I don't understand. Because you're peddling some fucking TV show. It's just stupid. And this TV show thing is we'll get into. But before that, Asa, you've been playing VR games, haven't you? Is that a new headset? That looks nice.
No, it's an old headset. My earbuds that I normally wear have decided to start falling apart, so I got an old one that I use for gaming sometimes. It is quite nice. It's a Razer Nari Ultimate thing. It shakes if you've got any bass in your voice, so I'm okay with you talking, Gaz. It's just fine.
You did.
I've actually been playing, so I do still play a lot of the VR stuff. I'm still going through that, but I've turned my channel into half VR and half Diablo hardcore. So I've been playing a lot of Diablo 3 hardcore runs, moving on and dying. So there's a thing, Diablo 3.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, Dean messaged me because, hey, you want to mention Asa? Someone is using his account to play pancake games. So, wow, there you go. So PSVR didn't hold it for you for long, right? Oh, it was so much satisfaction. Just even though I believe in VR, David Jaffe came on last week and he said PlayStation VR 2 is dead. Ooh. Dead.
Are you right? I mean, personally, I haven't touched my PlayStation VR 2 for like 23 hours at least. So you're right, it's dead.
No, but BG, I was watching your show last week. Yeah, last week when you guys were talking about this, and so one of the things you said was, "Man, the device is not in the stores yet." It felt like you were trying to say that it's not out in the wild yet. Maybe the fate will change. Do you really think that will make a big difference to the fate of a PSVR 2? Has it failed? What's your view on it?
Well, I was saying that as to one of their failures. I think that's a point of Sony's failures is not because they keep it in PlayStation Direct exclusively because they get 100% of the profit, right? The 100% of the money made. And if you put it in brick and mortar, they have to get a percentage. I still think that's a stupid reason because would you rather have all this stock of PSVR and keep the little money that's made, or have a lot more of it sold and get a percentage? Right.
Hold on, BG. You cannot fucking say that after defending the $70 price tag. The same principle applies. Would you have more? Asa said it all the time. $50 for a game and more sales, or make more money.
The issue with that is the reason why that doesn't apply here is because people have proven that they will buy a game at $70. Yes, if these are true, if these PSVR numbers are true, it points to people having an issue with this is essentially a $600 unit because with tax and everything brings it up to $600. So people are saying we're not okay with $600, but $70 people have clearly said, we'll do it for the right game. So they need to put it in stores. They need to eventually. I think it'll have they need to have somewhat of a price drop by the holiday season. More games continue to show it at that PlayStation showcases. They can't abandon it. I don't think it's over. We don't know what we consider if it sells the same amount as PSVR 1, is that a success? Asa, what do you?
That's a difficult one, but I need to go back to Gaz's thing on the $70 price of games first. You got to remember VR, each headset has a cost to it. The reason that the price of games is so flexible is because they're not the same model, they're a digital product, so you have the flexibility to change it. The PSVR 2 though, you're absolutely right, it's had a really muted launch. It is sold only directly. Their whole marketing campaign has been to give away a few hundred of them to some influencers. There's no advertising. It's not featuring heavily in directs. They're really not pushing it. They're relying on word of mouth and virality, and they're not necessarily wrong because I'm sure there's at least 100 people here right now who are grumbling that virtual reality is not mainstream. It will never be mainstream. So why would they put it in shops? They have to be delicate in the way that they push it, and I understand it and appreciate it, and I hope that the one thing that I really say is missing from them is nobody knows the future of this device in the way that they're going to support it. And the people that are enthusiasts, people like me, or people who are just smidgen less enthusiastic than me. The people that don't want to support it for the sake of supporting it and don't want to put money down to see it grow, they need to know that Sony have these first-party plans for virtual reality before they jump in, and Sony have said so little on that front so far. That's the only way that I'd really floor them. But I'm not in a big panic about the numbers, because the numbers, a lot of people compare them to the Steam Deck. It is different to the Steam Deck. Steam Deck does not need to support an ecosystem in and of itself, whereas PlayStation VR2 pretty much does, right? That is not a viable device unless it hits a certain critical mass of numbers, and that's not the same thing as a Steam Deck. Can PlayStation VR2 reach it? If it sells the same, so BG's question, if it sells the same as the PlayStation VR1, that's not enough. That's not critical mass. We've seen the support in games dried up on PlayStation VR1. So if you want to see better and more, then no, it needs to go well above that 5 million. It needs to break at least 10. Is it going to?
No chance. Unless it comes down to the games, and you have no fucking clue. Jack, do you have a PSVR 2? Do you think it's going to be a success?
I do not have a PSVR 2. You know, when the PSVR originally came out, I saw a couple of games. I'm like, I would really enjoy to play that. They added some VR to some of the games I already had. I'm like, first of all, I don't have that much movement space in my setup area. But other than that, I was like, it's just too many cords. It's too many cords. You know, I stream. I got cords from that. It's too much. So I'm like, all right, how about this? I just save up the games I want on PSVR, and when the PSVR 2 come out, it's going to have less cores, which it does, and the game's going to be backwards compatible anyway, right? So then they announced the PSVR 2, and don't hardly none of the damn games I wanted to play work. So I got to start all the way over with fucking Fruit Ninja. I don't want to play that, bro. Like, I want to play like Super Stardust. Like, Super Stardust had a VR mode that I wanted to play. The Until Dawn game, like, so, and I spoke on this, you know, before VR came out. I was like, you know, I think it's a mishap that they're not making more of these games backwards compatible in launch. And, you know, the VR enthusiasts that didn't go out and buy it told me to shut my damn mouth, right? So I washed my hands.
Like Blaze 4K, yep.
They told me, hey, they said, brother, do you own a VR? You don't need to be talking about it. So that's why I don't even speak on it no more. But to answer your question, I don't see it getting no better. You know, it's funny that Sony wants to make their products proprietary with the purchasing, but they starting to put their products everywhere now. So it don't make sense. I don't understand. So now you're more focused on, like, you want your hardware and peripherals only on your website that don't many people know about to begin with, but you're putting your games on all platforms. Like, I don't understand it personally. You know, I'm not a businessman, though, so it's not for me to understand. The price of PSVR 2 is it's too much for me, man. Will I get it one day? I hope to get it one day. I still want to check it out, but as of right now, with the games they're offering, I can't do it, bro. I can't do it.
I'm the same with you. I was actually going to pull the plug. I said it on Go Live. Like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And then just waiting for payday. And it's like, there we go. Oh, wait, what? This device is already fading. What does that mean? And I'm sad. The whole time I was bugging me. I'm like, what game am I actually waiting for? Yeah. So it looks fun here because you've got some stupid, crazy setup.
I'm not using the crazy
around.
setup there. I'm not. So the PlayStation VR 2 does not work with the treadmill. I'm using that to stop myself from smashing up my own room, and because I haven't got space to not stand on the treadmill. So it will, hopefully. Like the company that make that treadmill are working on it, so hopefully that'll be a thing I can do soon. But no, this is just for my own personal safety.
You really play VR on the treadmill?
I do, and I love it.
I never heard nobody doing that. That's interesting. I never heard nobody doing that.
He's got a pulley system for his wires and everything. This guy is on another level.
Is this just a random treadmill that you like makeshift?
No. It's a company called Cat VR. The company's called. It is a catwalk sealy treadmill made for VR. And on the PC side of things, like I use it. Soon it will work on the PlayStation VR 2, hopefully, and then I'll use it there as well.
Yeah. Wow. Well, hopefully one day it becomes mainstream. I don't know. There's a big question mark surrounding the success of this. And then we hear that PlayStation Portables are now coming from none other than Tom Henderson. And he's a pretty reliable source, I am told. But this one is an online-only device. It's streaming only. What's going on here? Who wanted this? Who asked for this? Can Sony afford to, with Microsoft even fucking up as much as it does, being awake, have this scatterbrain focus on all these devices that might not succeed? So it's the I'm just going to pull out the details here on GameOnDaily.com, and it's coming from Tom Henderson. Acer has you were quite scathing of the previous report.
Shit website, complete lack of ethics. Anywhere. Carry on.
Wow. Lack of ethics? In what sense?
Like, you know that this information about this device has come out through somebody breaking an NDA, and they're acting as a foil to do it for their own personal gain. And to me, no time for that.
Oh, wow. The ethics of it all. Oh, you never cared about the ethics of insider stuff before, have you?
Me entirely. That's beyond a gaming podcast, though. Like, I don't think that anybody has any value if they have no integrity, and I don't believe that these people have any. So,
because sorry, what you're saying they're hiding behind someone who's broken an NDA?
No, they're not hiding. So their way of doing it is they obviously don't sign any NDAs themselves, but they let other people break their NDAs, which is obviously the people that are breaking NDAs. Those are categorically that's not an ethical decision. Nobody disputes that. The people that are enabling that for their own personal gain are not much better. So no, I'm not a fan of any of that.
Yeah, Tom Henderson has a plug pretty much, because I've jokingly said that, like, if I was an insider, right, and I signed an NDA, I would just tell one of my podcast members and have them put it out, because I couldn't do it myself and be liable.
So you don't have any morals or ethics, BG? That's what you're telling us right now?
Absolutely not. None whatsoever.
I appreciate it.
No, none whatsoever. I might actually try to, sever increase the degrees of connection. Like, I might tell somebody and be like, you tell him, have him do it. So it's even further away from me. I might do that. But as far as this handheld, listen, I'm anti-handheld. I'm not a fan of handhelds in general. I'm completely against them. Remote, native, a PSP2 or a Vita 2. I've been completely against all of it, and PlayStation making any handhelds. I've never, I had a PSP. I remember I bought a PSP when that came out and I sold it. I was like, handheld gaming is just not enjoyable to me. Looking at, holding this device in my hand, looking at this 8-inch screen or whatever the size may be.
You're on the Switch, correct?
It's
shit!
I do.
Tom Henderson is in the chat.
Awkward.
You just badmouthed the guy. He said he had no scruples, no spine, he had no ethics. What?
Oh man!
I didn't
Great
say
guy,
that.
love him to death. Right? Just pull that. Great guy.
Oh shit! Asa, do you have something to say? Tom Henderson's in chat. You just called him a piece of shit. No, you didn't call him that. But I'm just being a dick. But I was going to ask
not
you,
overly,
Tom,
I don't. But I'd like to have a chat and find out more if I'm wrong.
What the fuck? You can't say that after you just literally took. But I was going to ask you, Tom. See, I've got your back here. I was going to ask you. We've had Jeff Grubb on. We've had other people on. They and Jess Corden on. These guys regularly do the same thing. You are pretty scathing of all these people. All these people. You sip on that wine. You sip over that wine. Shit. I got spicy there. But yeah, sorry, BG. I got distracted and interrupted you. This device is going to fail, man.
Oh yeah, I was just saying I'm completely against all handhelds, and so PlayStation fans who've been crying for a Vita successor and all that, I'm like, man, it's like I'm upset because this is a complete waste, but I'm kind of happy because y'all get to eat shit, and y'all get the opposite of what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted a Vita too, and PlayStation said no, hold this dog shit remote play device that I'm sorry, I say this all the time. Nobody who's serious about gaming remote plays or plays through the cloud and all that. I'm sorry. And it's because to me.
What about Brazilians out there or in other countries where the dollar to currency ratio precludes them from playing? A lot of people play on cloud, man, because
if you have no choice.
Yeah. Okay.
That's different. Yeah. But if you if you just play remotely or through the cloud because it's there and come on, bro, that latency, you take a dip in visuals and even audio quality, no, it's disgusting. You're the vile of the earth if you do that.
What?
Just wait till you get home. There's nothing you're doing outside that makes it that just immediate that I need to whip out this this Vita or this handheld and like play this game right here and now. Like, no, just wait till you get home. It's a better experience. What are you doing? I'm sorry.
What if they have an abusive partner at home that doesn't let them play games and they have to play on the train? What about that? Not that I'm speaking from
they might get bigger problems playing ahead.
Yeah, it's true.
They got some more issues other than gaming, man. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, you got to put your priorities somewhere else, pal.
I'm just getting beaten at home. Oh, damn, I don't go play games. But damn it, man. But do you agree, Jack, that this like handheld gaming is for peasants? You're a dog shit fake gamer if you play on these devices? Because that's what BG said. He says you're a prick. You're a dickhead if you play remotely on handheld, on Switch, on your Razer Bone, all of that shit. Are you backing your boy? This one.
I can't with this one either, man. I'm a Vita defender. You know what I mean? I got 2 Vitas right now. I got a regular Vita. I got a Vita TV still to this day.
Pathetic.
What I will say, if the rumors are true, this new situation they got going on is definitely gonna fail, and it's definitely a horrible idea. Why would you bring out a remote play? They saying I keep hearing this remote play cloud or whatever, bro. You can remote play a PS5 from a Vita right now. You can remote play a PS5 from a phone right now, and you can remote play a PS5 from a Steam Deck right now, and you can play the games from PS5 on a Steam Deck. Yeah, I've seen videos. There's workarounds. You can remote play, and you can play the games natively from PlayStation on the Steam Deck. So why did you put your games on PC? Who's going to buy this? I don't see who's going to buy this.
Well, Tom Henderson in chat says, view the Q Lite as an accessory and not a handheld, then it makes sense.
If it's a super cheap accessory, maybe. But like,
it ain't gonna be cheap though. It ain't gonna be cheap.
Because I'm not the most informed about like remote play devices because I don't care about them. But if it's essentially just a conduit, right? It's like the game is being sent to this device. Essentially, it's a conduit. It's not like it's playing these games natively. So in my mind, there's no reason it should cost like anything like an actual like handheld device that's getting dedicated and exclusive games made
like Steam Deck or something.
Yeah, like I don't know why it would be anywhere near that.
They gotta have the haptics and the screen, and nah, man, it's gonna be expensive, bro. It's gonna cost just like it was a natively playing situation.
That's tragic. That's tragic. Aren't there other third-party devices that already do that aside from the ones you even named? Like, there's other ones like this, right?
The main one's the phone, man. The phone does it. If you can just get the Razer Jawbone or whatever, I got the Razer Naga. Yeah, and if you can, but that was a bit archaic. Now you've got new ones. It's like, well, it doesn't make any sense. Tom also says the price is the deciding factor. Has to be 200 or less. 200 is still quite a lot for a streaming online only device. But yeah, 200 or less. Anything more than that, Acer, this device is going to join the PlayStation graveyard of devices, along with that dildo called the PlayStation Move and the iToy and all of these other things.
Yeah, like I guess it might take the edge off a little bit if you can use it as a DualSense. So if you're thinking I need an extra controller, hey, it might as well have a little screen on it. Maybe, but besides that, like I'm with BG. I don't play things remotely. I don't have a Steam Deck. I don't play games on my phone. If I want to play games, I'm on either a screen or I've got VR on. But I appreciate that a lot of people do, and for a lot of people, it's very circumstantial. Like if you're somewhere where it makes sense, then it makes sense. For some people, it might be that they're sharing their TV in their main room with a spouse or family or whatever, and they want to play games when their other half wants to watch Netflix. Device suddenly makes sense in that scenario. I have no such scenarios where it makes sense for me, so I'm not all that interested. The only place where I would potentially use a device like that would be like the train or something. But I wouldn't take a streaming device on the train because it's not going to work for 90% of the journey. So it's a weird one. It's going to need to be cheap if that's what it is.
If it exists, considering the unethical source, I'm such a dick. I love that you came in, Tom, just as he was spouting nonsense, like a ninja. He was just there. Just
the only reason, I don't think there's a real demand or need for this. I think the only reason PlayStation would make this is if they see all the people going to non-PlayStation devices or just anything outside, essentially, to play remotely. So they want to keep that money in the same ecosystem, which to me is still stupid. It's still stupid because they're like no matter what you put out, there's going to be ulterior and superior alternatives. So I just I don't get it. But like I said, if it's like stupid cheap, then I think maybe they can get away with it. And it's like and people won't look at it as like some premier device, like it's like Tom said, literally just an accessory, like something almost like a charging dock. Like nobody really cares if you make a charging dock, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's
something additive to the main experience is different. I'm with you there. I think I agree with I had a PS Vita, and you played it and it felt amazing. It felt like magical, but it never tapped the potential of it. This one seems like a bit of a spit in the face for a lot of fans who wanted a successor and get this online, always online thing. You said to mention always online.
In its defense, though, like if it sells like 20 of them, it doesn't really do any harm. It's not like the PlayStation VR2 where it needs that ecosystem built up. Like this is just playing your PlayStation 5 games. It's like the PlayStation 5 camera. Like they sell it, and if they don't sell many, it doesn't really do anybody any harm. So I guess in that sense.
Yeah, I mean R&D costs aside, and development costs, it's not going to harm anything. They don't have to put a focus on it. But I just don't think Sony. I think Sony maybe perhaps being a bit too bold off the monumental success that they enjoyed last gen, and they're still enjoying actually. As I say that, they are killing it. But I think they need to be a little bit more laser focused because their business model is not under threat, but it has competition finally, which is weird. And we'll definitely go to the spicy topic of what Sony has been saying in response to this whole ABK business. But there's some spice. Even you, Asa, I'm sure will be satisfied. Before we do that, let's read these super chats. Peeve 1973, thank you, Peeve, a member for 7 months. He goes, "Hello, panel. Looking forward to a great show. Finally get to catch you live. I'm at work to boot." Now we're gonna. Please don't put us on speaker. You're going to be fired. AC2 Cole, thank you for the $7.77, man. He goes, "What's up, Gaz and Asa? I hope you're well. Did you see the Minecraft Legends gameplay?" I did. It looks like it's going to be interesting. Might be shit for a lot of people, by the way. I'm not going to say more on that. Game Pass, day one, I'll be there. I will be there too. But it's just... I can't say too much on that. Otherwise, I'll be like Tom Henderson, Asa breaking NDAs through other people. No, I'm not saying it's going to be shit, by the way. I just don't think it will be for me. But it might be for other people. I see a lot of people jumping on the Minecraft bandwagon who weren't really Minecraft fans because it's part of the Xbox first party thing for the sake of it. But we'll see. Before that, Redfall, the IGN gameplay impressions came out, and almost unanimously, there was a pretty lukewarm response by Xbox. Well, I say that, I saw a lot of people damage controlling it. I was on Portrock, said, "What are your thoughts?" And I responded, I said, "That looks pretty generic." And I'm a big, not a big fan. I like what they showed. I did a video. They might be more than what I thought it would be, not just a Left 4 Dead clone, but IGN, I don't know if you people know, in chat, they did a first impressions preview. And what the fuck? Who plays these games at IGN and Polygon? And they can't play games, man. Or that cannot be the best gameplay, that footage that they recorded. Like, surely, at one point, like, even Arcane Austin would have had to vet this release, right? And they said, yeah, go ahead and release it. Surely they should have done some checks on it. Because the IGN staffer who was playing it just barely killed even an NPC. He was just running around, looking in the ground, shoots a little human enemy, not even the vampire, just until it barely dies, then runs off to another Ace has got it on screen. But even if you ignore, it's sometimes hard to ignore the the gameplay, the shit gameplay of the person playing it. Just like he was like smoking something and at the same time playing this. It was just very bad. I don't think it does the game justice, perhaps, but even still, BG, like this, irrespective of the shit gameplay, there's something about it. It doesn't scream like a massive game changer. I don't know where I'm at with this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something about the game that just kind of feels kind of hollow, right? And it's like
That's the word. Yeah.
Yeah, it just feels hollow. And I'm trying to the gameplay is definitely not doing it any favors, right? And I was very high on this game when they first
you were?
it. Yeah, I was definitely looking forward to it, right? But the thing I was hung up on is this a single player game that just has co-op, or is it a co-op game that you can play by yourself? Because depending on which one it is, the game usually plays very differently, right? Like co-op games are literally just based on the fun is based on playing with your friends. That's what it's too dependent on that. And that's usually why I don't like games made with co-op in mind. But single player games are going to be fun no matter if you play with anybody or not. So that's what, and they've kind of clarified that this is definitely a single player game, but I don't know, looking at it, it's like, I don't know how good this would be playing alone. And they've said, I think they said they got help with the shooting mechanics from id or whoever, but I'm looking at it and it just looks so like just hollow and dry. The shooting doesn't look fun. And I don't know what it is like. It's like hard to put your finger on exactly what's wrong with it, but it still does seem like they tried to separate themselves from looking like Back 4 Blood and Left 4 Dead. But I'm gonna be real, it still looks like it seems like it plays like Left 4 Dead or Back 4 Blood, and I'm not a fan of those games. So I don't know. I don't know.
I think I mean, the thing is, it's so hard because the gameplay is so bad. The guy doesn't even focus on a target properly for a while. Only at the end he's targeting that vampire. But this is a game he's playing in cooperatively, and the idea they sold was that you would have different heroes with different abilities, and the abilities would work together to create a dynamic kind of gameplay scenario. But a lot of it is shooting. The gun is, I don't know.
It has no recoil.
But yeah.
It's like,
and even this is gonna sound stupid. That looks like bloody Destiny. The crosshairs for the pistol. I know it's like a very weird specific complaint, but it's like all of that adds up. But I'm still on the fence here. I think it could be fun, just that the gameplay didn't do a good job at all of showing that. And now, because of that gameplay, irrespective of IGN playing or not, I'm a bit, But Jack, were you actually hyped for this game? Are you a big multiplayer head? Don't say yes, because I know you're not.
Definitely not. I think I had the wrong mic on too, but
this whole fucking time! Oh my god!
Somebody just told
trying to
me.
be nice. Oh my! This whole time I was being nice. I'm just thinking in my head, fucking a weapon wheel. His mic's not that bad, is it?
I was thinking the same thing, but I thought he was just far away from it. Jack, you're such a meathead.
Somebody just told you. Why you tell me my mic was wrong, man? What's wrong with you?
I thought you were just far away from it or something.
It's right here. How the
You're an idiot. You're an idiot, bro. You're an idiot.
I'm the idiot. Okay, he sounds far away from the mic. This is right. Okay.
You see what I deal with on Sundays? This guy. Come
bro,
on.
what's wrong with you, bro? But not a big multiplayer guy, man. I feel like, speaking of Left 4 Dead, what they come out 08, 09, I feel like devs have been trying to recreate the magic that was Left 4 Dead to this day, and they have all failed miserably. Even the original devs of Left 4 Dead, right? They've tried numerous times. Turtle Rock, they can't do it. And this game, I'm sorry, respectfully, it looks mid as hell.
People saying that in chat as well.
Like, man, I just don't like co-op games either, because I like co-op games, but I don't like co-op games that are trying to be like pseudo story based, because stories in them co-op games, they usually suck. The writing is trash. You're talking to your friends the whole time. You're not paying attention. It's just there for no reason. But I'm not digging the gameplay of this. I might check it out. I got Game Pass until like August. I might check it out, but not looking forward to it. Not currently. Nah.
I mean, day one.
I'll be playing it day one. And
by
a lot
myself.
of people are like, by yourself.
Yeah.
By yourself.
Yeah, I don't do the co-op stuff. Yeah.
He antisocial, man. He antisocial. You don't want to.
Maybe.
But to be honest, I think the game was designed for co-op play, irrespective of what Arcane Austin say. The game gives you a buff for playing with your friends, and if they pick particular, we've said this before, particular heroes, whatever you call them, and like the game is designed for that. Based on what I saw there, I don't know if that. I'm looking at that gameplay and I'm thinking the co-op bit will not save it. That suggests that the game is doomed, but perhaps elevate the experience. But I'm different like that. But if you're playing single player, maybe, I don't know. I'm there day one anyway, and I'm still looking forward to it. But that video, that gameplay definitely dampened my hype. What about you, Acer?
Wow.
You just saw it now.
Yeah, I'm just seeing it for the first time there. The funny thing about the player that you're criticizing so much is there are a lot of transitions in that footage as well, where actually it was probably even worse and they've snipped it out. They've gone, oh no, we can't show that. So what you're seeing there is the edited highlights of the good bits. Besides that, though, yeah, like I imagine that gameplay without the numbers popping up, and I don't think you'd have any kind of like worthwhile feedback to the shooting. And I think this is the thing that was putting people off. So there's no recoil, and there's no like response, no staggering, no anything to being like shooting an enemy. And that's quite a difficult thing for co-op anyway, because you can't interrupt what the enemy's doing when 4 people are shooting them. But it becomes very I don't know, it becomes something that you can tell doesn't necessarily feel right. The gunplay doesn't look like it's going to feel like you're really hitting hard. It's going to have a hell of a good impact sound effects to kind of compensate for the visual experience that's not really doing it right there. But it still looks gorgeous to me. Everything still looks so well handcrafted. The lighting and stuff it's unbelievably good, apart from the fact that it's all baked in. If it was if they had like ray tracing doing that and it was all casting shadows properly, then I'd be well impressed. Even without, though, artistically looks really, really nice. It's really hard to say how good it's going to be to play, because the moment-to-moment gunplay has it got like is that loot system really addictive? Is there a story that's going to drive me through? All of these kind of questions are still well up in the air, so I'll Game Pass it and find out.
There are some examples of games that just demonstrate very badly. Like on screen when you're looking at it, they don't look good. But when you play it, it's very different. There are situations like that. So we just got to wait. Well, it's next month. Next month is May. So
yeah, exactly. So we're going to be playing this next month, and hopefully we get a press copy if we do, which means we'll give out free copy to people, but it's a Game Pass game. And shout out to the person who won Wolong, finally claimed his code. Sorry, that was my bad as well. But like you're right about the gameplay, the moment-to-moment gameplay. I think we talked about it. We had Portrock on as well, and he was saying like, "Would you buy this at 70?" And I was like, now I'm even more like Game Pass is the reason why I'm going to play this day one. But the moment-to-moment gameplay is so fundamentally important for the long-term proposition of this game, because I was getting excited by the fact that there may be more to it than meets the eye, and the moment-to-moment gameplay would be the clincher, how the game feels. Now it seems like, as you've quite succinctly said, like the other bits, the loot system, the story, I think there's more of a reliance now in my head for this game to do well. Those things need to hit. But again, massive disclaimer, we haven't played the game. Like BG, you said, there's one of those games that it feels good, then maybe that isn't
this
reflective
game
of
might be better if it wasn't a first-person shooter, like not a shooter at all.
Not even a shooter.
What would you be doing then?
I mean, something like I hate to just say the easy answer: Dishonored with vampires. Like that's not too easy. But it might be. Listen, if it was honestly like not exactly the same thing, but something where you have these powers and you're not mostly engaging and engaging.
I agree with you
through guns, but more through powers. Like that might.
That'd be making more unique prospect as well. You wouldn't have this whole Left 4 Dead Back 4 Blood stain on it. You know the studio are catering to their strengths, which is those Dishonored games. You've got a vampire thing, you've got a power element now, and you're not relying on gunplay, which has not been the studio's strong point typically. So that's a good point. Third person as well. Can you imagine third person with that? That'd be cool. Jack,
he describing that other game. What's the other game that came out where you was that Asian dude? I forgot. It was a Bethesda game too. You know what I'm talking about? He was throwing up gang signs, killing people and shit. Yeah.
The one that just came out on Xbox, Ghostwire. Yeah, Ghostwire.
Yeah, Ghostwire Tokyo. That's kind of what this like you describing right now.
Yeah, and I really like Ghostwire Tokyo. So,
is that out on Xbox?
It just came out.
Yeah, I think it's coming out. Yeah, it's coming out on Xbox.
I played it last year. Yeah. I'm sorry.
So I haven't played it. I was waiting for the Game Pass edition to it. The reviews were a bit weird as well. So you like that game? You like Ghostwire Tokyo?
Yeah, I really like Ghostwire. It's good. I think it's funny. You could real quick, like in that game, you could tell they either ran out of time or budget. when you play that game. And I can't imagine its budget. It feels like time, but I think a sequel to that game would be amazing. Because like specifically what I'm talking about is when you look at the powers, the skill tree, it looks like it's half complete. Trust me, when you play that game, look at the skill tree. It's like, it clearly looks like they're missing things. So
okay. Well, hopefully they get Game Pass gives them a second wind and gets enough success there, because a lot of these first titles, they never really kind of realize their full visions. That's where your prototype kind of analogy really comes into play. So I'm quite intrigued because I really liked Ghostwire the first time they showed it, but then it kind of went under my radar because the reviews were a bit middling. But I will play it. And also the back of my mind, this is going to come out Game Pass. And now it is. So chat says next week, Tuesday, it'll be out. Okay, let's see. I just got your gang signs analogy, Jack. Buck with a $5 super chat. Thank you. He goes, Microsoft spends $80 billion to put games like Call of Duty Bethesda Day One on subscription services versus Sony selling for $70. Yes, Sony's business model is under attack. It definitely is. I agree with you, Buck, which is why I feel like this scatterbrain approach, which isn't perhaps supplemented by or a real conviction in those things. I don't know if PlayStation VR2 has Sony's full conviction, but they put a lot of money in R&D. They delivered a great device, as Asa tells us, and a lot of people have said. So it's weird. Like, where are the games? Why are you going to talk about it? This is Sony, right? You always talk about games, but with PSVR2, it's a deafening silence. It's like,
it's not, to be fair, so it's launched with quite a lot of games compared to like even a console launch. They don't have as many games as this. The problem is that we don't know much about what's coming, but we don't know much about what's coming from PlayStation across the board.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That is very true, and I'll touch on that in a bit. But Face, thank you with the $20 super chat, man. As always, very generous. Because since Resident Evil 4 Remake is Capcom's fastest selling game, will they focus more on remakes or new franchises or continuation of franchises? What do you think? That's actually a very good question. Because with Capcom, Dino Crisis, come on, that's an easy moneymaker, guaranteed moneymaker if they give it the RE4 treatment, no? But with all this money that they're making, Jack, do you think Capcom will be like taking, let's say, the lazy route and remaking these, or will they focus on something else? Because that's a big distinct danger. Your friend BG is the reason why we're never going to get new games from Capcom. Oh, damn.
You know, I do like remakes and remasters too. I just feel like, it shouldn't be the main thing. I feel like it's the focus is just like, but I'm not gonna lie, I definitely would love a remake of Dino Crisis. I never got to beat that. I used to play Dino Crisis. I never beat it though. I beat Dino Crisis too, but they definitely need to remake that game. And them remakes is what got them bouncing back, because a few years ago, man, they was looking bad. They was almost out of here. Yeah, they was almost out of here until they started doing these remakes. And hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess, man. If remakes or remasters is what's getting it done, hey, I think they should keep doing it.
Did you like the Dino Crisis on PlayStation 1?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely did. I didn't beat the first one though. I remember playing the second one. I didn't even know it was a third one until a few years ago. And they was in space.
I didn't know there was a third one.
Yeah, they
don't want to know about it.
Yeah, they in space. I didn't know it was a Crazy Taxi 3. I was like, what the hell? But yeah,
oh, that was shit.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, I think they came out around the same time. But yeah, I was definitely a fan of Dino Crisis. Dope game.
Yeah, no. So, Jack, there's no way you would not be excited about a remake, because that game was pretty janky and restricted. Can you imagine Dino Crisis now in the new age?
That'd be dope. That'd be dope. And then they teased the fans with that was it Exo Prime, where they had the little chick with the red hair. Everybody's like, you seeing dinosaur red? Oh, Dino Crisis. Then they show that foolish shit, and it's like, come on, man, what are y'all doing? So I don't know if they testing the waters or what, but they need to do that.
I think they will. I think the likelihood is high. If it's of us getting Dino Crisis, now is the time, because it's the scope is there.
They're going to be sitting there right now going, we just released Resident Evil Remake 4. We can do 5, the kind of racist one, or we can do Code Veronica, which people don't like either, or dinosaurs. It is a safe bet. I've not played 5. Okay. I'm going by reputation alone. Yeah, it was controversial when it came out.
I saw Sumo and BG on this topic. We don't shy away from these topics here because it's quite important. I thought Forspoken was hitting the tokenism a bit too hard, but with Resident Evil 5, I was with you because it's freaking set in Africa, wherever it was. RE4 set in Spain. You had the religious zealots with like the whole theme of it. What was it to you? Well, actually, you agree with me, but why do people think that RE5 is a racist or was racist?
It's selective. Like, listen, I'm the first guy, right? Look, I say people got to use the race card like more carefully. Y'all can't just be throwing out the race card at every little thing that's not legitimate, right? Because when you throw it out, people are not going to believe you. They're just going to be like, oh, you call race into everything.
Exactly. The boy cried wolf all the time.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, okay, in Resident Evil 6, they went to like I think China. It was either China or Japan. Killed some Asians. Most people didn't play Resident Evil. Well, a lot of people actually did. They bought it, but it was garbage. So it was. Yeah. But you went there. In 4, you're in Spain, killing a whole bunch of Spaniards, and there's a whole bunch of stereotypes in 4. Like Luis, that character is a huge stereotype of like the Spaniard playboy who I get the ladies, and like when you're at the when you're at the shooting range, they're like playing what sounds like stereotypical like Spaniard music or something like that. Like it's very literal stereotypes all over that game. So all I was saying to Sumo was, if you didn't get mad at 4 or any other one, why are you getting mad at 5? And he was talking about because there was specific aesthetics like
the guy wearing the hay kind of
the hay skirts, the tribalism, and I'm like, that's some of that actually happened in Africa. Like that's some of that's real, like from the tribes and stuff like that. I get that it's stereotypical, but my thing is like, I only consider it to be like very offensive if you only target one group. If you do it to all groups, then to me, it's like South Park. South Park literally mocks every race, creed, religion. So nobody bats an eye at South Park because it holds a mirror up to society. So that's why I'm like, bro, it's not a problem. You know?
I agree with you. But sorry, I got distracted. Mo Kwama donated $10 super chat, and I read what he said, but I was about to copy and paste it to Word, and I deleted it. He said, "Thanks for saying being a good show and not being one-dimensional and getting panel members from all over like different platforms." Yeah, we do that. People get a lot of, oh, you had a pony show, like, bruv, like this is a game show. We're not an Xbox only show. How many fucking times do we have to say it? How many times do you have to say it? Like, if you're going to keep crying about it, let me just...
Once
how many
more
times do I have to say,
reverb.
I don't care.
I don't fucking care, bruv. Just fucking, we're not an Xbox show, bro.
It's like, I'm an Xbox fan. It's my fault that this happens, but we need to have these conversations. Like, we're gamers at the end of the day. Stop fucking crying every time. It's like, oh, you're going to... Next week, I've got a couple of Xbox really cool guys coming on, and then after that's gonna be a pony show. Fuck you, man. Just seriously, sorry, it just pisses me off. It pisses me off so much. Sorry, but
but that's what I was saying to Sumo. Like, bro, they've done this to different races, so it's not like they're targeting one race. So I don't see the issue. Like, I'm sorry, I platinum Resident Evil 5, yes, and I killed all the black people in there.
So bad.
I killed them. I destroyed them. With a white man at that. Like, I'm sorry.
Okay, you can say that. But yeah, that's fun. Jack, you have anything to add? To add to your friend who likes killing black people? What do you have to say?
I think I did. I actually played Resident Evil 5 with Jack back in the day. We might have did that. We might have played like a few times, like for the platinum. I'm not sure.
So I gotta agree with BG. Now, if Resident Evil 5 was set in, Nebraska or Montana somewhere, you just killing a whole bunch of black, I'm gonna be like, Capcom, what's going on? This don't seem accurate to the location. But I don't got no issue with this. Like you said, it's just different areas. It's a non-issue, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, Sumo's not here to cover his side, so it's not fair. Like, obviously, Sumo, if I ever get desperate enough to get your ass in here, then maybe we could talk about it. No, I'm just kidding. Shout out to Sumo. He's a nice guy. Played once with him, with him and Strictly. But if look, it was an issue before. Whether it will be an issue now, I don't know. But dinosaurs, no one cares. So hopefully we can make Dino Crisis Remake is a safe bet, Acer. Yeah, we definitely need that. H2O, bro, with the fucking $100 says, Assalamu alaikum. What's happening, guys? Walaikum assalam. Love and peace, baby. Love and peace from Dubai. Bro, he's got that Dubai money. He is raking it in, but thank you so much. That helps us. Trust me, it helps us.
Y'all got viewers from Dubai? Hey, hey, BG, we hustling backwards, man. They got viewers from Dubai over here, man. Hey, what's going on, man?
Listen, listen. Now that we on another like podcast, we can talk trash. We'll talk trash about our viewers on our own podcast. But them niggas cheap, ain't they? Man,
look, man. I wasn't gonna say nothing, but you sure is right, brother. It's crazy.
Man, bro, sometimes we be hitting near 1,000 live viewers, and they ain't trying to come off of. They just freeloaders. They're not trying to separate no money.
Do you know why though? Do you know why, BG? That's my biggest complaint. Not complaint. Why you don't get enough super chats is because you park them to the end. Oh, the Lords do it. I Lords do it.
That's what Bond was saying. That's what Bond was saying.
Because I super chatted, and because you want to hear what, especially, bro, if you should be quadrupling the number of super chats we get. It's because your dynamic between your group is so good. But when we super chat, want to hear the takes of everyone. Like rip it to shreds, do it, but you park it to the end. It feels like I'm a side piece. Like you don't care. And Jack read it out my super chat like this, and it was gone next one. I was like,
so we got to make that because and I usually do that because like our dynamic is usually so good while I hate to interrupt that flow, but I guess we got to start doing that, Jack. I guess we got to.
That's the move, man. We got to start reading them. Yeah, that's the move.
Do them. You can weave them in between. It actually adds to the conversation as well. I think it would because some of the super chats are funny. Your viewers are brilliant. So if you do that, I guarantee you, then I can give me a 10% of your cut.
I thought they were just cheap bastards, but.
Tom Henderson's being messy chat. He goes, I'll report on Dino Crisis when it's ethical. Tom, didn't you get the same shit from someone else before? Was it Jason Schreier or someone else said it was ethical? You had some beef with someone. You can maybe let me know in chat. Like, I don't care about the ethics of it all, but I do care for developers. I don't fucking get. I did the same thing with Fable. Hey, so what try and say to me, you cock? But that wasn't trying to subvert NDAs. That was told through different content. Ace is messy. But that was a good chat. By the way, on one thing I see in my social media is blowing up, and I need to talk about it because, politics is wise, we don't shy away from it. And we see a lot of this, like games developed in China. We talk about it. Games Saudi's got a dodgy history. Colin Moriarty came out and said, look, it's fucking ridiculous. It's a cop-out if the Saudis are getting involved and you're supporting them. And I think, and you do, Jensen, from the States, but I think it's fucking hypocritical that this guy who is a massive pro-Zionist supporter cries about China and Saudi all the time and doesn't raise an eyebrow about any stuff in the US, like oh, they have women drive. You know what? Fuck it. It's gonna get too heated. My emotions are gonna get the better of me, and I'm gonna fucking get banned. But yeah, that's like that. Shut the fuck up, Colin Moriarty. It just pisses me off. You want to have a debate? Well, let's go for it. But this Ramadan, I shouldn't be smart. Yeah. Well, he actually emailed me saying they don't, invite. I called Dustin Furman in a jokey way a dickhead. In a jokey way. And they emailed to say we're not coming back on your show. So like, all right, fine, fuck it. I did apologize sincerely, but now I don't give a fuck because you're just taking the piss now, in my opinion. You're entitled to your view. I just think you've got fucking dog shit views. Anyway. Speaking of all these games and all these remakes, Konami.
I don't know what the fuck that was. We must talk about this little run. I don't know where that went. That's fine. Let's move on. It's good.
Yeah, I think it's just better to move on because it's like, what's good? What good's gonna happen? I'm gonna cry about the Middle East and this guy who's fuck it. Yeah. Sorry, that was my bad. Sorry. Konami. Let's talk about Konami. Konami's returning to gaming again after telling everyone in the gaming space a massive middle finger to gamers, saying we're going to focus on pachinko machines. Unashamedly stuck its middle finger at gamers. It now wants to return to gaming in a big way. It plans to return to big and proper games as it's made a gigantic investment in a new studio in Osaka in Japan under the slogan "Creators First." It's designed to achieve the company's long-term aims of sustainable growth after, I don't know. Like, we are desperate Silent Hill remake. We're ready to forgive. But really, should we forgive them so quick, BG? Like, these guys didn't give a shit about us. Literally said, "Fuck, go piss off." But are you excited about Konami coming back? Oh, shit.
I don't really have, any, real deep emotion about Konami making games. Like, I've played Castlevania. I think Metal Gear is really the only game that I really care about from them that much. So, and obviously Kojima's not there anymore. So I don't even know who would really lead a Metal Gear project anymore. So, and I've never really been the Silent Hill remaster or remake is coming out. I've never really been crazy about Silent Hill. It doesn't really mean much to me. I'm glad they are coming back because they weren't offering anything to gaming at all, because their focuses were elsewhere. So I'm glad they're coming back. It can't hurt me that the worst thing, I just ignore the games if they're not good, but I don't really have that much reaction to it. Yeah.
Well, what would you like to see from Konami? Like, what can they even do? Like, the main ones are, okay, Silent Hill, this is being made. Metal Gear Solid, can that even be good under anyone other than Kojima?
I don't know. And I feel like most people really don't care about anything. There are definitely Castlevania fans, don't get me wrong, but
oh yeah,
Metal Gear is definitely the main thing that people care about. I know, everybody likes to act hype about Silent Hill. I think y'all are frauds. Right? I think all of you are liars because Silent Hill is one of those games where everybody acts like they always loved it. I'm like, hold on, brother. Silent Hill at its peak popularity might have sold maybe 2 million copies at its peak ever. Now, but everybody online is a Silent Hill lover. I'm like, somebody's lying. Okay.
Yeah.
All of you can't be Silent Hill fans. Somebody is not telling the truth here. So that I think all that is,
that's so true.
I think all of that is just talk, and mostly everybody cares about Metal Gear. And can you have a Metal Gear as much as I think Kojima loves to smell his own ass? I do think
you're just being rude, BG.
that man is a textbook narcissist megalomaniac.
You think so, Kojima?
Oh yeah, the guy that puts his name at the credits of every chapter of his own game. The guy that reminds you, hey, this is a Kojima game every 5 minutes.
Metal Gear Solid 5, it came up so many times. Kojima.
Bro, we know you directed the game. Stop telling us every 5 minutes. Friggin' psycho. He was a nutcase. But yeah, I don't. As much as I think he's crazy, I don't know if you could do it without him. If you had one of his proteges still, but I think all of them went with Kojima. If you had one of his proteges, maybe, but I don't even think you got that. So I don't know.
I thought Metal Gear Solid. So when he left, I did a interview. Remember, Asa, that kind of blew up. We did it with IGN took our interview, but we did it with a Konami community manager, and this one blew up. He said, "Can you survive without Kojima?" And he goes, yeah, look at Metal Gear Solid Revengeance. Was it Revengeance? Was that the name?
Or Survive. Survive came out. That was the last one that came out, yeah.
Survive was a bit dog shit.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, no one cares about it. Revengeance was pretty good with the tech of slicing people in half, and that was pretty
made
cool.
by Platinum, I think, right?
That was Platinum, yeah. So, I don't know,
Unga
but
Bunga.
it's just Unga Bunga?
Yeah, that's what I called mindless games where you just press buttons, like Metal Gear Revengeance. I beat it, but it's an Unga Bunga game. It's a it's a game you could give to a toddler and just make them press buttons and just random flashy shit happens and they'll beat it. It's an unga bunga game.
The last boss was hard on that, I remember. The last boss was pretty hard. The guy in the suit, like this weird CEO, like it was weird. The game drew out the ending.
I think he was a senator. Like,
yeah, it was so weird. I was like, what the fuck is this story?
Yeah, for some reason you're fighting a senator with a katana. Like, whatever, bro.
I love the game though. But yeah, it's just like, okay, maybe something like that. But come on, man, Jack. You got to side eye some of these when they tell you like we don't care, pachinko machines are the one, and now they're just seeing that gaming's blown up. Are we going to easily just let them into our bosoms? Nah, I don't know about that.
Me personally, I'm gonna be real, and y'all ain't gonna expect me to say this. If they bring out a new Dance Revolution, they can open up. I need to bring out that plastic ass dance mat. I used to. I don't look like the type, right? I need that Dance Revolution, man.
Jack has been talking about Dance Revolution a long time.
No,
I didn't even realize they owned it,
bro.
I didn't even realize they owned it.
I need
that's so random that Capcom that Konami are the developers of Dance Revolution. That's
I did not know
random.
The games is fire, man. I need one, man. I need it.
Yo, if that comes out, you need to make a video of you playing it.
I might have to.
You know,
that might go viral because I'm a big dude, man. That might go viral. I don't know. Be twirling on that dance mat. That might do
hey, man, we saw BG wank off 2 guys and when he's playing Assassin's Creed. What was that?
You be saying,
I can't believe they made that the motion.
You need to get one of the VR treadmills because you damn near passed away playing that Creed game the other day, man.
But yeah, I can't believe they made the motion to get up after you're knocked out. Remember that commercial when you were doing when they were?
I was like a shake weight, yeah,
like the shake. I'm like, yo, why?
So you got to do the beat off motion to get up. That makes sense.
Yeah, because it's like he knocks you out your body and you're running back. Your soul is running back to your body. I'm like, really?
But if you did that constantly, it would like stand up, though, right?
Oh, come on, man.
BG, a weird dude. Why would you even say that, BG? You're crazy. You're being crazy on this podcast. I told you not to do that. Don't do that.
He put it up on live. I was just like, I instantly clipped that because I was laughing. I was like, bro, the camera is pointing upwards. At this point, I'm not surprised if his ectoplasm flies into my face. This guy's going.
The nerve to stream something like that to people, right? Like, dude.
First you street PSVR with the camera squarely aimed at your crotch. It was there, like, and then your wife comes in a costume.
You working on a band, BG. You working on getting banned. That next stream, you go, what you gonna bet?
VR is a very imperfect. VR is an imperfect experience, man. You gotta. It's just made to make you look stupid, bro. Clearly,
it's succeeding. I'll tell you that.
Oh man, I love the Dubai contingent. The Arabs are here, Habibi. What did I do? Oh, nope, wrong button. There we go. Shout out to Liftozo, Ramadan Kareem, man, and thank you for the 500 AED. No, it's not $3.25. I know it's a lot more because I haven't been to Dubai in a couple of years now. But thank you, man. That's really, really generous of you, man. There's no message there, but I saw Ramadan Kareem, but yeah, I hope your Ramadan is better than mine. I've been swearing. Luckily, I've broken my fast already, but hopefully that counts. Buck with a $5 super chat. With BG and Jack on, any quick predictions from the panel about what Microsoft and Sony will reveal at their case?
Ooh.
Only 60 days, both coming out with fire this year, he says. Jack, come on, man. Sony needs to show something, man. The pressure is on. MBG, the guy who loves to talk to himself and only himself, is fucking crying every day. What is up with that guy, bro? Like he's not doing PlayStation guys any favor, that guy.
Listen, anybody that does a podcast with themselves needs to be evaluated, bro. Like, what is that? That is so insane.
He just talks to himself. That's all he does.
Madness.
Bro. So you bad person. On screen right now is peak gameplay you will get on PlayStation.
Oh no.
Oh shit. But whilst we get to see BG masturbate on screen, Jack, what do you think is going to be shown this year, especially for PlayStation?
Man, I wish I could tell y'all, man. Me being a primary PlayStation gamer, this has been my main point of concern, contention with them since 2021. We haven't had a major showcase since the end of 2021. They've been rumored to have a showcase ever since then, and they haven't been showing no damn game. So every day I wake up and pray that, I see a new game. So I don't know what the hell they're going to, well, clearly Spider-Man 2 is coming out, which I hope they improve the side content with that. I know the story is going to be great. It's going to deliver with that. We don't know when Wolverine coming out. Other than that, man, I have no earthly idea. I can't even start those. Well, you know what? They got to start showing some of these games as a service they're working on. What they working on, about 10 of them, they said. So I assume we probably were like,
You hated it. I was listening to Weapon Wheel. You were pissed. You were vexed at these games as a service. But now you want to see these games?
I don't want to. Well, you know what? I'm going in cautiously, right? I want to like these games because this is what we got to play for the the upcoming foreseeable future. So it would be to my benefit if I did like these games. I hope I like them, but I'm assuming I won't. I can see a whole bunch of Destiny clones, a whole bunch of silly ass first person shooters in our future, boring ass games. They're trying to bring back Twisted Metal. That game is archaic. It's not going to work in modern day. Nobody's going to put money into that game. They might try to revive SOCOM. That shit going to be DOA. So I don't know. I'm very pessimistic, right? BG's an optimist, right? I'm pessimistic with this stuff, but I don't really know what they're going to show. I hope I like it though.
No, man. Well, you know what? I have to give BG his flowers. Not only because me and you remarkably agree on a lot of different things. I think you are very accurate and share a lot of synergy with what I say, a lot. But one thing I give you your credit for, especially against a hostile panel filled with people like Jack, that multiplayer. Why is PlayStation not doing multiplayer? You get literally gangbanged on your show every time you mention multiplayer, but really, I'm there with you. So, wait, that sounds wrong.
You want to get gangbanged? What? Hey, guys, what we doing, man? This is too much, man. It's only 3 p.m.
It is true, though. It's full on Bukkake mode. Every time he talks about multiplayer on Weapon Wheels,
doubling down, Jack. He doubling down.
Look, it's got to be done because I swear to God, it is like, why is no one else saying it? Why is no one else saying it? If it was me in your position, I would be the same person. And your reaction to when Microsoft came out and said, build your own COD, you had the exact same mentality I had. It's like, it's good. Let them fucking say it because then Sony can do it because that's what they need to do. I believe in their ability to do that.
Yeah, my pod members just have no faith that PlayStation would be able to make these games as a service,
absolutely,
multiplayer games, good or successful. Not necessarily good, but I think they just don't believe they would be successful more than good, right? And that's based that's based on the landscape of 85% of live service games failing. So I understand that, but one, that doesn't mean you're not supposed to do it, right? You still have to do it because you haven't made any multiplayer, like the whole entire last generation with the PS4, they really made no multiplayer games. So I screamed for 7-8 years, where are your multiplayer games, right? So to me, I believe they're capable of doing it. I believe they're capable of making good multiplayer games. I think you can look at all the failures and use that as a cheat sheet of what not to do. And then look at the 10 to 15 successful live service games and be like, okay, this is what we need to do as far as like the economy, not necessarily the gameplay. You need a unique gameplay, but with the economy of what the successful ones do. But you can't copy the aesthetic and the gameplay of those. I say it all the time. Nope, don't try to copy COD or Fortnite. Because if anybody wants to play COD or Fortnite, they're just going to play COD or Fortnite. They're not going to go to, here's a COD alternative or a Fortnite alternative. Nobody wants that. They want a unique game IP with an economy that works. So I just believe that, like I say, if you believe that PlayStation actually makes the best games, because PlayStation fans believe that. If you actually believe that, you can't tell me they're only good at doing single player games. Because if you're only good at doing one, see, but then they're not that good. I believe you're not that good if you can only do one thing. They're not that good. Then stop saying it.
This is my thing. This is my thing, right? This is my thing about this whole situation. Arguably, if we want to argue the best Sony exclusive multiplayer experience that came out, the last great one was The Last of Us. And that came out a decade ago, 10 years ago, all right? 10 of them things. Yeah. On top of that, a lot of people I talk to, they don't even fucking like The Last of Us Online. Me and BG like it. We played it 6-7 years, but it didn't have the mass appeal in which I feel like it should have. But bro, if they, I'm a big believer if you could do it, you would do it. If everything is so easy, you would do it. It's a reason COD has never been replicated. It's a reason for that. If it was so easy to do, people would do it. And ain't nobody did it since then. And it's a reason Sony ain't been bringing out multiplayer experiences hardly ever. They're not good at it. And this is the reason Sony is one of the worst companies to jump head first in the games as a service. They've shown when times get rough, when times get hard, they will abandon it. They abandon the Vita almost immediately. That's why when I see stuff struggling out the gate with Sony, I get concerned. I get worried. They're in that. They won't stick around for the bad times. So
they've actually, I think you're hit the nail on the head on that point, because Jim Ryan out of the gate has said and he's acknowledged that not all of these 10 gas games will hit. So they're already mentally primed to let them go out of the gate.
That's true. I think Factions 2 probably got the best chance of succeeding. And if that don't hit, they in real trouble with that. I truly believe that.
Factions being cross-gen is a bit of a bitter pill to swallow for me, but I've said it multiple times. I think that could be the big one for Sony.
See, but my thing is, to counter Jack's point, is PlayStation, like he says, PlayStation hasn't done it because they're not good at it or they can't do it. I think they haven't done it simply because they haven't tried to really do it. Like,
agreed.
That might be true too. That might be true.
PlayStation has treated multiplayer, and to this point, we're going like 2014 and before, right?
Yeah.
So since 2014 and before, that was the last time you could say they honestly never put their whole effort into making a multiplayer game. They've never really done it. You can make a case with SOCOM, maybe MAG, but since this new regime has started and you have all this talent of developers, you've never actually tried to make like the same way you see how they put their whole effort into making a single player game, they've never done that with multiplayer. So you take that same effort and that same focus and that same dedication and make a multiplayer game, I believe it'll work.
Okay.
I just believe that.
So let me ask you a question. So they bring it back Twisted Metal. That's pretty much confirmed, right? Is this supposed to be a games as a service? Like, what type of leg? It's not Rocket League, right? What type of legs can a Twisted Metal games as a service have? Like, let's be realistic about life. The last game sold 600,000 copies. I think that's to date. Like, the game fucking flopped. So what type of legs is this game gonna have, bro? Like, nobody's playing this shit.
And here's my counter to Jack, right? Look at all PlayStation's IPs, especially during the last generation. Every one of them sold way better than the previous generation.
That's
Uncharted 4 outsold Uncharted 1 through 3.
Absolutely.
God of War 2018 outsold all the previous God of Wars practically combined.
Absolutely.
So what I'm saying is, if by that measure, by that logic, PlayStation games now, like the single ones that you release, are outselling everything in its past. So yeah, I believe if you take release a Twisted Metal game in 2024, it's gonna outsell all the and that's not saying that much because those Twisted Metal games never sold that much. But I think it'll be successful in this time, especially since I think it fills a gap in the industry. Because if you wanted to play a vehicular combat game, what do you have?
Not much.
There is none. There's really none.
You got what's the other game they just came out with that flopped? That they tried to charge $70 for. You remember that?
PlayStation didn't make that. I'm specifically talking about first party.
But they had those devs working on the Twisted Metal remake, and they removed them according to reports. So
Yeah.
Like they saw what they put out. They was like, "Hey, we want you guys to make Twisted Metal." Like, bro, the game it flopped, bro. What are you doing?
And they realized you suck, so they gave it to Firesprite or whoever it was.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, Jack. You say that Sony give up after there's something that isn't working, but really, you've seen examples like BG you mentioned. God of War 2018 killed it. God of War 4 was it? That wasn't that good. So like, we can't accost them for trying something new. At the same time, we've got a legacy of them actually getting bangers out of the gate. Yeah. And
what's up?
And I was going to say, BG's other point, which was really good, was the fact that you can't copy COD and make a COD killer being COD or Fortnite. But there are some what is the key like similarity between all these successful games that are live as a service? The content roadmap. Because Halo, everyone says the gameplay is good. Well, where the fuck's the content? Content is what Halo flopped on. Is it a key example of there's no roadmap? You had stalled release of content, and you have good aesthetics. You have to have an aggressive roadmap from day. If you have Twisted Metal, and you have here we go, we're gonna have 6 new levels, new cars, new additions to your new vehicle, new vehicles, new weapons, a sweet tooth, this and that, skins. All that can potentially work, but we've never seen PlayStation really try multiplayer. Faction's going to be the first example, potentially. And it's Naughty Dog. And that paradigm needs to change, man, Jack. It has to change. I mean, PlayStation's never tried it properly. Killzone 2 is a 92, 93 meta. Guerrilla Games really tried. And then what do? They fucking copied COD with Killzone 3. Mm-hmm. And there you go, died. Multiplayer died.
The whole industry is just chasing trends if we think about it. This is the thing.
That's true.
Like I feel like I'm not opposed to them trying, right? That's not my argument. My argument is I just don't think it's gonna work, man. I really don't. Like they got Horizon Monster Hunter type game coming out. That might be fun, but my thing is the premises that I'm hearing, it's like it sounds fun. But for how long are you gonna support some stuff like this? What are they gonna keep coming out with new machines? Like they're not gonna do that. I don't see these games getting supported long term. That's pretty much my main argument with this.
I agree with you.
What I would agree with you. What I do agree with Jack is the amount, like the 10 games that Jim Ryan talked about. Not all of them are going to be first party, right? And but overall, I don't think it should be 10. I think it should be 3. 3 max.
But real concerted
I don't know what all this 10 business is about. Like that just seems kind of stupid to me. But I think it should be like three games and maybe 2 from first party, 2 from some partners. And I just truly believe that and people gotta stop thinking of like I take Killzone, for example.
Yeah.
People go think of Killzone as it was 8 years ago, 2014. That was Shadowfall.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't be like that. A Killzone in 2024 or 2023 wouldn't be like that. Wouldn't it though?
Wouldn't it though?
It would be different.
Would it be? No way. Unless Guerrilla Games are so tone deaf, everyone has already told them it needs to bring the weightiness back of Killzone 2. It cannot be COD. The history is that they're not stupid, man. Well, they did make Killzone Shadowfall.
That's what I'm saying. Like Killzone Shadowfall, what's it, a 9-year-old game? Like, what did they learn between now and I don't see it being too much different, man. Yeah. I don't think so. I really don't think so.
Listen, hey man, like I said, if they're not capable of doing it, then I don't want nobody praising them as like this amazing.
Nah, I don't agree with
studios.
That.
Then it's all about. I don't believe you could be.
That's not true. It's all about knowing your limitations, right? Shaq is one of the greatest centers in NBA history. He can't shoot the ball. Like he knows his role on that team. He's not gonna go out to the 3-point line and start hoisting up shots. He's not gonna try to shoot free. He knows his role, and he was great in that. He was legendary in that role. You got to know your role.
He's not gonna
go
and try and make like a PC game or something ridiculous like that, right?
That's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. But he's not a fucking game developer. Exactly.
But I guess I don't, or I think it's a shame if these PlayStation studios are kind of shoehorned into that role on a team. I think because I think they are or should be more versatile. I mean, they went from look at Naughty Dog's history, from 3D platformers to racing games and Uncharted, an
a 3D platformer
game, and you know what I'm saying though, and then Last of Us, bro. Like Guerrilla, a team that literally made nothing but first-person shooters, regardless of what you think about Horizon, made an action adventure game with some RPG elements, like the polar opposite of where you could go. Like regardless of what you think about it. So if you mean to tell, I have problem believing that these studios can't pivot, whether that means by getting more staff, the right people. I believe they can do it.
Definitely. Especially we've got help with Bungie now and all that talent pool. And I think the developers will be sick and tired of working on the same genre. The talent pool is there. I'm sure the desire is also there internally. It just needs to be backed by a mandate, pushed by Sony that says, like, hey, let's do it. Take it seriously. Here's a sizable budget. We need to do this. And I think that's happening in the background. And I keep saying that Halo Killer could be
Playground Games working on Fable now, right? So
but you see how that's going too, though. Like
I don't know.
Well, also,
it's been rainbows and lollipops over that way either. So
I have no idea what's going on over there, Jack.
Well, yeah, Jack does highlight the problems there. They've been struggling trying to retrofit that engine. That was old news. I don't know if that's still the case. Let me read these super chats. Carlos Alvarado with a $2 super chat. Shout out to Gaz, Jack, Asa, and BG. Hit the like button. Thank you so much, man. And shout out to 517 people watching, man. Smash that like button. Face with a super chat. Thank you so much, man. He goes, Factions is going to be Sony's best multiplayer game. That isn't saying much, but it will be just by default. But it could be something special. It could really be something special. Asa, do you believe in Sony's ability to deliver compelling multiplayer experiences that could challenge Microsoft? Is it even good at multiplayer?
Everyone gets the impression that they're throwing like 10 or 11 games at this. It's real like flinging shit and seeing what sticks, right? So a lot of them are going to fail. Like, of course, a lot of them are going to fail. But they only need one or two of them to hit, and they've got their Game Pass competitor. Like, you get a good service game, you get your Genshin Impact, you get your Fortnite, you get your Warzone or whatever. You're a serious player in the industry again for a long time. So I don't know. I'm personally I'm enjoying Horizon Forbidden West at the moment. I'm very curious about the live service Horizon game, and it's Sony's unique position. If they're trying to break into games as a service, they have to leverage their best IPs. So Factions is an example. The Horizon one is an example. And are any of them going to work? I don't really know. We've not seen anything of them yet. We've not seen anything that Sony are doing for such a long time. So let's find out.
I think SOCOM and Killzone, even Killzone with its mod legacy, would actually get people's attentions going, because Killzone was a visual heavyweight. Killzone 2, even though I didn't like the multiplayer compared to Halo, I think they were onto something with the weightiness of that combat that distinguished itself quite far from Halo and from COD. I believe in Sony's first party to do that.
I feel like SOCOM, you know how BG was describing Silent Hill fans? I feel like SOCOM fans that same way. They never,
Blaze will cry.
They never played the game, and they going off here saying how amazing it was. And come on, man, ain't nobody gonna play it.
SOCOM 2 sold 5 million.
Awesome. What them 5 million people at right now? They probably old, dead, got kids, not gaming. Like
on this panel.
That's what I'm saying. They grandpas right now, man. We got gray hair and stuff, man. They not trying to play that shit no more, man.
But I think there is a utility in a third-person, more serious multiplayer game. I think there definitely is. The people are building it on Fortnite.
Is Siege. Like if you want to play like a tactical, third-person shooter.
But that's what Faction's gonna be too, though. Faction's gonna be a third-person tactical, little strategic game. So
we'll see.
With the co-op focus,
not military. It's a little bit.
No. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Hey, so do you remember this military? This is gonna be a very vague question, but there was a military PC game, a third-person. You had a squad. It was so brutally hard. If you remember the name, based on what I've just told you, you are a legend. Like
that 2-3
cannon
shots fodder.
Yes, kind of. But there was one. It was so vague. It's not Armor. It was ages ago. It was so good. I just played it so much I couldn't get past the first level. It was so hard. Dead Planet with the $5 super chat. PlayStation has great games this gen, but doesn't it kind of ultimately feel like a PlayStation 4 sequel machine? Whilst Xbox's lineup seems more geared towards new stuff. Jack, you should be an Xbox gamer now if you like new stuff. And PlayStation's giving you old shit.
Man. I've been enjoying my Game Pass. I've been enjoying my Game Pass, man. But whoever said that comment, I definitely agree. If I didn't do content in a podcast, I wouldn't feel too bad if I was a PlayStation 4 only owner. Like PS5, come on, man. Like I'm not gonna get into it, but yeah, I agree with that.
Get into it. Go for it. Like
I mean, look at the PS5 exclusive offers, right? We got stuff like Returnal, which looks like a glorified PS4 game. Like, I'm pretty sure the game can run on the PS4, even though it's barely running on the PS5. And it's 1080p on the PS5. Like, how is this a new generation, right? Her face, she looked like fucking the Clado character of Batman. Like, the textures are horrible. Like, what the hell, boy?
The particle effects were good.
No, the game is I love Returnal, but it has some horrible texture, especially with like facial. So
that's what tanked the resolution. Probably is all them damn particle effects.
I guess so, man. Ratchet and Clank. I'm pretty sure Ratchet and Clank look like a glorified PS4 game. You know, it's a beautiful. All these games are beautiful. I love the games, man. But they go. This is the thing. People always the power of the SSD. It can only run on an SSD. Then they're gonna port it to a PC that runs off a multitude of hard drives. It's gonna run on a regular hard drive on PC, right? But it can only run on an SSD with a PlayStation. Like, bro, you can't piss on me and call it rain, brother. Like, I'm not stupid about this, bro. Like,
well, we will avoid the R. Kellying you there, but look what happened with Last of Us. PC,
here's the issue. Real quick. Here's the issue that I have with people like complaining about we're getting too many sequels and like the sequelitis. I'm like, bro, sequels are what happens when you have success. Like what do you?
I don't think like that's the sequels are. Complaint though, BG. The complaint is that these sequels are available like everywhere. Like if you just own a PS4, the next latest and greatest game, it might come out to the PS4 too. Like Horizon is a great sequel, but guess what? If you own a PS4, you could play that. God of War Ragnarok.
Cross gen. Oh yeah, well I agree with you there.
Yeah, I think that's what people make. I don't, we playing RE4 right now for how many times? Like don't nobody care about those sequels, bro. It's just the cross
gen stuff. I absolutely agree with that. But there are people who complain about too many sequels, and I'm like, bro, that if you bought the last game, you helped the sequel get here. So you're complaining about
if it's a good game, it's a good game, bro. Like
that's a good point. That's really well said. Yeah, that is a sign of success when you usually get a sequel. Even like Crackdown got third iteration, had enjoyed some kind of success. But there are outliers there. Faced with the $2 super checkers, Factions was overshadowed by the story. It's true. It was a victim of his own success. The single player was so good. I saw this back and forth, by the way, Asa. I think me and you may finally agree on something. But BG, you and Alex agreeing on shit, it feels wrong. It feels wrong. Mm-hmm. Path tracing and ray tracing. I saw you going at it, and I disagreed, but I didn't say anything because I was just like, okay, I'll talk about it here. Path tracing as a I get it. Ray tracing has been overhyped. And as far as an implementation of this gen, it is shit. But path tracing in Cyberpunk, that's fucking crazy, man. Like, Asa, that is pretty mad. Did you expect this gen we would see path tracing in a game like Cyberpunk?
Absolutely. It's phenomenal what they're pulling off. I've seen all of the complaints that they have to use like DLSS 3 to make it performant or whatever. I've played Quake 2 with path tracing. Quake 2 is from like 100 years ago. And if you turn off all of its like its filtering or whatever and see how much like it can actually path trace, you get like this really grainy, horrible mess. Path tracing is massively, massively demanding. And one of the few like technological advancements that I think is genuinely exciting. So no, the consoles aren't doing it in a way that's going to get people like excited. It's a bit half-assed there. But for me, when I'm looking at games and I'm looking for quality, the first thing that stands out every time is defects. So I see things where like that doesn't look right anymore. Those rocks aren't part of this environment. That line is jagged and all the rest of it. You take ray tracing and do everything properly and naturally now, defects go away, and it's an incredible tool that's going to bring real true to life and fantastical scenes across games. Hardware can't get there yet, but how do you get the hardware there if you're not going to take steps towards it? So I look at Cyberpunk and I look at what Nvidia are doing, and I look at the fact that, yeah, you need to use a whole load of tools to get it remotely performant, and it makes me want that graphics card, to be honest, because I want to see that. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
Somebody was talking about like somebody's phone going off in the background. I don't know.
Oh,
That's a doo-doo.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's my
Jack,
phone.
come on, bro, get it together.
Jack,
What
what
are you
the
doing?
Bro, that's my sisters, bro. They keep texting, bro. I don't know what they on.
Sorry, yeah.
This man in the
Yeah.
girls group chat. Come on, bro. What's wrong with you?
It's my sisters, bro. What the hell? You don't want me talking about family, man?
Yeah, no, I do agree with you. I'm going to clip that and share it with to Alex, and then let's see what he says, because he has zero tolerance for ray tracing. And you
As
do.
far as this ray tracing and path tracing conversation, Jack, just so you have context, the person defending this was Bless Red. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
Who's
All right.
Red?
Bless Red
He's
is
a crayon connoisseur. Great guy.
yeah, we love the guy, but we make fun of him. We call him the crayon eater because he's we call him an idiot in the most loving way possible. But he's like that's just that slow cousin where I love ray tracing. Like, bro,
That's crazy. Why do you do that, man? That was crazy.
we don't care, bro. And I'm sorry. Like, I just don't care about ray tracing and path tracing. I think it's the biggest mistake this generation. I think it's a Trojan horse to destroy gaming this generation. It's a distraction. I hate it. I hate it because I think all the other lighting methods in games, like especially on PC, I feel like when you combine and utilize all those, I'll take that over ray tracing, siphoning half of my frame rate. Like I just think ray tracing is vastly overblown. Like, yes, I've seen when it's implemented the best, and I've seen the worst. And even the best, I'm like, okay. So
I don't view it as how you do, which is fine. And implementation this generation completely failed, really, generally compared to how it was sold and marketed prior to the start of this gen in terms of its implementation and how well it's performed. But it's a forward-facing tech like the 4090. The fact that we can do that with the 4090 is a beast of a machine, but Cyberpunk can do it, irrespective of its DLSS, assisting in getting path tracing done. I think in the future, it won't be the resource hog it is now, and it will make our games look good. And I think that's what people are confusing. Like, the technology is impressive. Someone needs to do it. Like Asa, you said, like, unless we make an attempt at improving that technology, we won't get there. In the future, it will. But I agree with you partially. This gen, it's an L.
Are we really missing out on anything if if ray tracing just disappears?
Visual
like
fidelity, man.
Games we're already at like diminishing returns where games look amazing.
I don't think we've hit that.
Listen, I've seen some amazing games. Think about the best looking games. They have no ray, like a lot of them have no ray tracing in them, and
but they would look better with it though, right?
Yeah.
Like why would you? Like, what's the point of? I don't understand what's the point of not have, like they said, bro, it's going to get better, bro. You just got to wait.
The difference that it makes in the best looking games is like marginal to the point where you don't care.
It's going to improve though.
That wasn't the case for me in Cyberpunk, actually. With my 2070, which is aging and historic now, I played Cyberpunk and I played it without ray tracing, and I got much better frame rate than I did, like 40s, 30s, sometimes down to 20s. But the game looked so good with ray traced shadows in particular that I felt like I didn't want to play it normally. And it's different. This generation is an L, I would say, Asa. But unless you're
this
on a
generation, you're
4090.
talking consoles, right? And AMD in general, they're not very good at it. So all of the ray tracing hype was well off the mark. We know that. We had Andrew Goosen, who was like a lead engineer on the Series X, said the ray tracing's free and you're going to get all of this like wonderful stuff going on with it. That's not true. But you look at this trailer that's playing at the moment. This is an NVIDIA tech demo. It's not a game, but it looks like real life, and you cannot achieve that through rasterizing these graphics. This is ray tracing. This is what it's going to bring for the future of gaming. Not everything has to look like real life, but there's just... Come on, you must want that. You must want that.
That's the next stage. You want that, BG.
It's cutting your frame rates at the moment. It won't forever, but we've got to take steps to get there.
Agreed.
I think, I just think like,
Look at those balls. Look at those beautiful balls.
like this is what we like losing our like
So-
ray tracing, especially right now. It's like it's literally having a like.
Oh,
a
that dude look
luxury-
real realistic though, BG. You look at that, bro.
It's
That's
okay,
great. That's
but
crazy.
It's a luxury car and you got no gas, but you bragging about it. You can't even drive
actually
it, bro.
a sick analogy.
So-
yeah, but let them build like
If BG was still in charge of everything, we would still have physical buttons on our cell phones, and people be carrying around iPods. Like, bro, you got to let shit evolve, brother.
And
Like,
especially on console, especially on console, like on PC, like especially if you have a high-end card, I can understand those people, right? But when I hear console people talk about ray tracing, I'm like, bro, you're getting the government cheese poverty version of ray tracing anyway. Like you're getting the food stamp ray trace version. This is food stamp ray tracing you're gonna get. Like it's gonna be a very long time until people on console get like the very good ray tracing. People on PC, I can understand what you're excited about. Console, listen, you're going to the food stamp office and getting that ray tracing.
Yeah, that's true. I can't disagree with that either. And you're right. On console, it's not there. On PC, this is what Alex was really. He hates the 4090 cards, rightly or wrongly, whatever. But I think the tech.
It's fair to hate on Nvidia's pricing and what they've been doing in that space for the last 10 years because they have no competition, because nobody else can do ray tracing that touches on what they're doing, because AMD is so far behind. Nvidia have massively exploited their position in the market and raised prices every generation for a long, long time now. And I still can't go AMD at the moment, which is a shame. I desperately want AMD and Intel to give them some competition in that space, but I can't hate on Nvidia for trying to bring these technologies forwards any more than I can hate on Sony for trying to bring virtual reality forwards. Like, these are things that I want these companies to do. This is like, you exist and someone needs to do this, please do it. I would also like them to not take the piss with their pricing. Of course I would. Who wouldn't want that?
Absolutely. It's true. And you hit the nail on the head there. Final topic, the spicy one. I had to leave it at the end because Asa usually falls in to sleep on this. But Asa, I have a bone to pick with you. Not bone to pick, I'll pick your brain on this. I know you hate the Sony ABK and all this fiasco, but you said, I prefer Sony's way of dealing with things and how they've handled it. Do you still maintain that after all the shit we saw this week?
I'm quite specific when I say that. I mean, I'm quite happy that they're not making a big public spectacle of it. If none of this was in front of me, I would be a happier person. The fact that I really don't like the way that we're manipulated into trying to fight this battle, and I will not. So yes, I still prefer Sony's way of handling it.
Sony's way is handling it. Sony's
On that
being
front.
a mob. Bitch made. PlayStation's
Bitch made bitches.
I've never seen the market leader in any industry act like such a motherfucking bitch. No, seriously, Jim Ryan comes out and says the shit he says. It is nightmare fuel for PlayStation fanboys. All the narratives simultaneously collapse in 1 second. This man says he needs fucking COD or the game. Our business would never recover. Not even take away a third-party multiplayer first-person shooter game. But he says if Microsoft degrades Call of Duty, our business would never recover. You like the way PlayStation is conducting itself. What the do you have any balls?
Just explain. Yeah, all them marbles. I just showed you them. That was beautiful, right? I like the fact that they're doing it out of the public eye as much as they can. It's not what they're saying. It's not their direction. It's not the fact that they're challenging it. And it's not the fact that they said the PlayStation business will fall apart without Call of Duty. I don't care for any of that. I would just rather not see any of these conversations because I don't give a shit.
Yo, but come on, Jack, you're a PlayStation guy, yeah? Look, that must have made you feel a certain way when the head of is shitting on all first-party studios' work. He says a business would never recover. Is he telling the truth? Is he bullshitting? Or is that like what's going on, bro? PlayStation is down bad, being the market leader. What the fuck is this? What is this?
I kind of look at this like Asa a little bit, man. I really don't care at the end of the day, but even as a primary PlayStation gamer, I feel like, and I think BG said this as well, I hope this deal goes through, and I hope Microsoft say, you know what, PlayStation, Y'all didn't want to sign the little 10-year deal we was giving y'all. Fuck y'all. I really hope that happens, right? Because I just don't like the way PlayStation handling themselves right now, man. They always talking all this hot shit, but then when it come time to show and prove, they act like they, come on, man. It's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous at this point. Like, I'm over it, bro.
I always said it. I said, like, Portrock laughs at me every time I say, like, corporate pride and all this stuff is important. But, BG, come on, man. The Sony pounces on Redfall exclusivity? Bro, what the fuck is that about? Like, is it... They bought the freaking ZeniMax. And what does Sony say? It just says, just last week, 2 days before the addendum, video game publication IGN published fresh evidence in the form of the interview with Redfall's creative director Harvey Smith that provides additional insight into Microsoft's strategy. But like COD, Redfall is a first-person shooter game, okay, that features both single-player and co-op multiplayer modes. Co-op multiplayer mode? Anyway, he basically says, no PlayStation 5, we're going to do Game Pass, Xbox, and PC. And Sony uses that as ammo? Like, bro, if Sony bought any fucking studio, there wouldn't be a conversation about their exclusivity, apart from Bungie, which wants to remain independent. That was their stipulation. How can Sony say that with a straight face?
I don't think anything Sony says right now matters after the ABK deal is done. I don't think this impacts them after, like, this deal goes through. I don't think there's no repercussions from it. Like, people saying
for Sony, for PlayStation, you don't think they'll feel anything?
No, like, people are like, oh, they're throwing their first party studios under the bus. Okay, hypothetically, if they are, then what happens? What, the studios are going to stop making games, or like, what's going to happen?
It's not as far it's more the messaging. No, nothing practically will make it. But that's the point. When Jim Ryan says our business would never recover, is he fucking lying?
I have no idea.
Postulate on it.
No, listen. What I'm saying is they're playing the struggle Olympics. That's what they're doing.
They both are.
Because Jim Ryan is, once again, as everybody has said many times, he's doing his job, right? Let me sum up the whole the ABK deal for the past year and however it's been going on. Right? Let me sum it up. It's very simple. PlayStation has been saying, bro, we're pathetic.
Yeah.
Xbox has been saying, we're more pathetic, so we need this. That's it. Yeah. Every statement they make is sandbagging themselves and making themselves look pathetic. Whether it's truth or not, I don't know their financials. Maybe he could literally mean that they won't be earning that money. Are they going to be destitute and struggling? No, I don't think that at all. But it's a struggle contest.
Why so much? Did you anticipate Sony being this much of a bitch?
I don't think it matters to me, though. I really don't care, like, what PlayStation says about themselves. Jim Ryan could say that PlayStation sucks right now. He could literally, like, listen. I'm like, I don't care, because it's like his words have no impact, I believe, on me as a PlayStation gamer.
What about
like
investors?
Not regarding this ABK deal.
What about investors looking into the PlayStation business? You go out and see a statement from the head of Sony Interactive Entertainment saying our business would never recover. Investors looking into that, they're thinking, oh my God, Sony's business is so shaky that this guy has made this damning statement that their whole business model relies on one third-party game that they have no control over, which is, I'm paraphrasing what Jaffe
I would assume investors in PlayStation would know why he's saying that in regards to an ABK deal. Like, the investors might want him to say that, no? Wouldn't they want him to say that? To say any stupid thing. Yes, we all acknowledge what Jim Ryan is saying is stupid. Nobody denies.
Assuming investors know. Assuming these are public statements. If this guy's going to keep lying, when do you believe anything that comes out of his mouth, irrespective of his within? Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's like, so Microsoft's being a bitch and holding the contract out and having this pie chart where it's like Pac-Man and Microsoft is a little slice and like inside the mouth of PlayStation is at least has some merit because that's based on metrics and facts. Like here it is. Microsoft is tiny, despite the fact that it's Microsoft. But fine, Xbox is tiny, not Microsoft, in this space. But when Jim Ryan says what he does, and he's blatantly lying, you may not care, but that is a bald-faced lie. You don't believe for 1 second
what happens
what
though?
Jim Ryan says.
But what happens if he's lying, but then what? I don't see, once this deal ends, I see nothing like no repercussions, nothing happening from it. Xbox came out and said, PlayStation makes way better exclusive games than us. Do people believe that or not? It doesn't matter if you believe it or not, because once the deal ends, it doesn't matter. Nothing they say now during the time frame of this deal, nothing matters outside the vacuum of this deal. That's what I'm saying, because it's like they're in a bubble, and the only things you say matter inside the bubble matter now, and then right after they go back to business as usual. Microsoft is going to get Activision and all that stuff. PlayStation is going to move on, but while we're in this bubble, we're going to make ourselves look as pathetic as possible, even though we know there's a 99% chance that this is going to go through. We got to at least try. That's what it is. That's how I look at it, at least.
If you think that nothing will happen and they're putting up this bit of fight for no reason, something has to, it's considerable legal expenses, more on Xbox's side, let's be real, than PlayStation. But there will be surely they wouldn't be putting up this fight if it was inconsequential. I disagree with that. And what happens with COD? 10 years is a long time, fine. But after that, if you're Sony and you're an investor...
BG's not saying that the deal is inconsequential. He's saying that Sony's fight and the things that they say are inconsequential, which is different.
The statements that they make, like saying, first-party studios, throwing first-party studios under the bus, there's no consequence to that. What's the bad thing that happens because you say our first-party studios can't do that?
Yeah, but that's the spice. You need to fucking give me some give and take about the statements, man. Obviously, no one is going to say like that. The statement itself is going to set forth a chain of events that will practically cause gamers to cry.
So why not say it?
Wait, just
swim in the source.
No, but some of it also makes other than the fact that I don't agree on the fact that I think investors will be mindful of that.
I'll give you, Gaz, and this is the first week where it seems like what Sony is saying is now futile, because everything that everything that they're doing is very tailored to what a particular regulator is asking. So most of the ridiculous statements that Sony have made, like Microsoft are going to put bugs in the last level of Call of Duty and all of this kind of stuff they were saying in weeks past, all of this was built onto the problems that the CMA had identified in that case, and they go to specific regulators and say, look, you've identified this potential problem, we're going to ham it up and make it seem as scary as possible and try and get you to really explore this potential issue. This time it does feel like it's too late, because the CMA have come out and said we don't really care about consoles right now, that space is fine. So this is it feels more desperate. It feels more like you've not got anything anymore, you're not arguing with them anymore. That's it, though. That's all I can give you.
I guess I think you kind of look at it as almost like if you got like a friend and you throw your friend under the bus. Once your friend sees that you throw him under the bus, he gonna be like, bro, what's good? Like, why'd you do that?
That's how I see it.
But that's not gonna happen in this business. That's not gonna happen. So it's like, if I could. You can lie to an extent in business without there being consequences. Like, you can't lie about numbers and stuff like that, of course. That can have ramifications. But you can lie and say, bro, we're completely pathetic. Like, I don't know what we would do without Call of Duty. That's not something they can really measure. So why not lie about it? And that's what it's a struggle. It's a struggle Olympics between a $1 trillion and $1 billion corporation, which is ironic. Because they're both trying to struggle as much as possible. It is a struggle. I totally agree with you. And both companies have dealt with it pathetically. I made that video last year. I also called out Phil Spencer, which is why I got so much hate. I was like, it's pathetic. Your response was weak, and you won the video game. Sure, I see it very differently. I get it. In reality, all of that
public-facing posturing statements. I'm trying to almost like, just make these corporations almost like anthropomorphize them, whatever the word is, like but hey, it's the source.
And somebody asked, like, you don't think the devs and leadership ain't gonna feel no type of way knowing that they're busting their ass? No, they should. No, they won't. They won't care because they know what's going on.
Well, they're not making COD either. They're not making a competitor to replace it either. So,
well, they will be or trying to.
Yeah,
soon.
Eventually.
But then so it's funny how things have turned out. The CMA's U-turn has caused Sony to U-turn. It's called this deal. It calls the CMA's decision surprising, unprecedented, and irrational. And the desperation just is there. Like Microsoft was desperate trying to get this deal done. So Sony now, and it's just a bad look. Let me just read this super chat. GSD getting stuff done. I hate Nvidia for their whack VRAM limits. I hear. Oh no, it's Alex always talking about that. Silent Cypher for the $2 super chat. Shout out to you, man. He goes, "Food stamp ray tracing." That's my favorite quote, and it's very true, especially when it comes to console gaming. Hoggy Channy with the $2 super chat goes, Unreal Engine 5's new features, Lumen and Nanite, bank on ray tracing. Do they, Asa? I thought like Nanite and Lumen was completely different.
They've got versions that do very much utilize ray tracing. That's what you saw in the Matrix tech demo that you like so much.
Oh, really?
There are also versions, like I've not looked at Unreal Engine 5 that closely. There are versions of Lumen and Nanite that don't use ray tracing and still are effective in their own way, but yeah.
I completely agree with you, BG, on the side of ray tracing on consoles, but this is a space we will definitely see techs in the future. We won't talk about the hopefully Asa the hardware weight these things have.
Fuck you. I'd much rather talk about that than Activision Blizzard King another week.
And Jack is very pissed about, we haven't been getting any PlayStation news, which I agree with. I'm mad about that too. And it hasn't been a showcase in a year in like 7 months. Jack, I think
unacceptable.
I think you need to point to be mad at the ABK deal for that. That's part of it too.
You think that's the case? You really think
I really don't buy that, man. I do not buy that, bro.
I think that's part of it.
I don't think so.
I just think they ain't got the games ain't ready to show.
I'm there with Jack.
Nah, I disagree.
Bro, this year they only have Spider-Man 2. They got Final Fantasy
I'm
16.
not talking about. Yeah, I'm not talking about games they've announced. I'm talking about they have games that are ready to be showed in the future. I don't think there's anything coming out this year, but I think there's plenty of studios far along in development where you could show it.
Man, we ain't even seen Spider-Man yet, bro. And that come out in a few months, bro.
That's true.
This is like Sony. This is Sony that would happily show a game in 2016 that wasn't coming out for like 5 years. So yeah, I think they are.
Exactly.
And Microsoft as well. Like both of them are being very conservative with their shows and things for the last year or so.
Sony more so than... I don't know. Actually, yeah. Well, that needs to change now. Sony's getting slapped around by regulators, or at least in the UK and in Europe. So hopefully that will change. Tom Henderson and Jeff Grubb, the people you hate, Asa. I'm just kidding. They said
Jeff's one of my heroes.
Showcase. Jeff is one of your heroes. Are you selective in your ethics? I see how it is.
We can go into that at some point, but not right now.
Okay, fair enough. And Hoggy Chatty, thank you so much for the $10 super chat, man. He goes, Jim expects Sony fans to desert PlayStation if Call of Duty plays better exclusives. Waiting on all those PlayStation fans to choose. Validate Jim and leave PlayStation, or tell Jim he's lying by staying on PlayStation. We'll see, and it will be fun. I think realistically, they don't give a shit. Well, the fanboys will give a shit because it makes the narrative look bad. Ultimately, I don't think COD is not being downgraded. Even if it was, I don't think it's going to cause a mass exodus. But I think there's a scary level of reliance, perhaps, by PlayStation on third-party money hiring deals.
That's all right. Konami are coming back.
Yeah, well, hopefully that will change everything. I don't know where BG's gone, but that's it for the show. I don't have any more additional topics. It was a great time, man. And
Guys,
Jack,
I have to like, because it is the thumbnail and in the topic title, you do have to talk about Jedi Survivor, and you do need to get the super chats that have gone by.
I didn't see this. Okay, actually, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I'm so glad you reminded me. I deleted that topic by mistake. That was supposed to be the first one. Jack, are you excited about Jedi Survivor?
Man,
You played the first one. Fallen Order.
Bro, I tried to watch the first Star Wars movie, bro. I couldn't do it, bro. I'm not a Star Wars guy. That's BG expertise. I can't do it, dog. I tried, man.
Oh man, but what the game is pretty good. Oh shit!
No, it looked cool. Like the game definitely looked extremely dope. I would have played it, but like I say, I don't really care about the source material, so it didn't attract me like that. But the game definitely looked pretty dope.
The game, well, try Fallen Order. Yeah, I'm not a big Star Wars guy myself, by the way, but the game was good. The story is probably better than the Star Wars movies, which I have seen some of them. It looks shit. The movies are shit now. But try it out. It looks amazing. Asa, are you playing? Did you complete Fallen Order?
I completed Fallen Order. The Star Wars IP, like I don't hate it, but it is very much milked to death at this point. The first game of this, though, I thought was really good. The second one, I've got the EA subscription, so I'm going to have it available to play whether I want to or not. So, of course, I'm going to. Not necessarily the day that it comes out, because it's not VR, so I can wait. I've not actually watched the latest trailer for it, but the first one was good. The combat was good. I'm not generally a big fan of like Metroidvania level design. I don't like repetition. I don't like having to keep going back to places that I've already been. So I had a little bit of that, but generally decent story as far as I can remember. Nice and pretty, like satisfying gameplay. Yeah, I'll be on the second one.
I think this one is really going to take. I suspect BG is very accurate with his meta predictions. I'm very intrigued to see when he does come back what he predicts this one's going to do. But I think this game, because this game got absolutely criminally murked on Metacritic, the first one. But I think it had bugs at the start when it launched. It was a bit buggy mess. When I played it, I couldn't believe it. I think this game is going to be incredible. I think this is going to be a 90 plus meta. I would say maybe 90 to 91 meta. Chat, let me know what your Metacritic predictions are for this game. But this is exactly where BG, I don't know where he's gone, but when he was talking about, oh, there he is. BG, when he was saying prototypes of a game, the sequels are going to take it to another level. Star Wars Jedi Survivors is going to be BG. I was talking about. I was singing your praises about how accurate you are with your meta predictions. Only besting me. My record's not that great. But what's your thought on this game? Because I think this one's going to be big. I'm saying a 91 possibly meta for this.
I'm gonna say like an 87.
87. Okay. Yeah. Why? Did you like the Fallen Order?
Yeah, I did. And that one is in like the 70s. Even though people think it should be much better. I think they're going to make corrections on all the things that were wrong with the first one, like the map, the traveling, all that stuff. But I still feel like some parts of the combat, because it almost plays like a pseudo Souls game. Right. Yeah. And that makes the combat like a little bit like weird and janky sometimes. But it's not like fully a Souls game. So I think that maybe some points get knocked off of that. And I just think I just feel like it's a high 80 game, and nothing wrong with that. I just think it's very high 80.
I think the first game got murked on technical issues. Otherwise, it would have been a high 80s game itself. The Metroidvania level design, actually, if I remember correctly, that wasn't well met at the time as well when the game reviews came out. But I think this will improve upon everything that the first game did. The encounter design, enemy variety, the level design, visually it looks stunning. That's why I'm kind of veering towards 91. Normally, I'd say 87, but when the last gameplay trailers came out, game looks amazing, man, and I can't wait for this game. And it's Respawn. Respawn more or less never miss. They are the darling studio, man, who delivered Titanfall 1 and 2, which were incredibly overlooked. Maybe they missed with the first Star Wars game, but that was still a great game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I think 91. What about you? You're not a fan, Johnny, so it's a bit unfair to ask you what you think the meta prediction is for this game. But if you're going to throw a number out there, what number would you give it?
I could definitely see this game scoring higher. Actually, when I heard the rating for the first game, because I was watching streams and stuff, even though I don't really care about Star Wars, I didn't know it had that low of a Metacritic. I was like, what the hell? So
yes,
I could definitely see it getting around high 80s, like 85, something like that.
Okay. I'll be disappointed if you go to 85. I'm hoping 87.
Well, you saying it's getting a 91? You saying? So
I'm just guessing here. This is guessing basically because I think it just looks like it has the hallmarks of a sequel, a typical sequel that really pushes and realizes the potential of the first game. The first games typically don't always do that. So I'm hoping it'll be great. I think it's going to be wicked. Asa, you want to get your crystal ball out?
Yeah, not really.
Well, okay. He says 96 from Asa. Shabs Inevitable with the £20 super chat, man. Very generous of you, Shabs. Thank you so much for being a member for God knows how many months. He goes, BG got my respect. Food stamp ray tracing. Love it. Ramadan Kareem to those who observe. Hit the like button. Yes, absolutely. Hit that like button. Isla with the 9-month super chat with lots of pussycats. Pussycats.
That was on screen at that moment.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought.
And that what she was thinking about, Gaz.
Yeah, I've always got that on my mind. But before we end the show, Dead Island 2. I want to get your meta prediction on this as well, BG. What do you think? Because it looks actually could be a surprise hit. Dead Island 1 didn't hit that well. It was a bit of a buggy fest as well. But BG, you're good at predicting meta scores and you're always on point, more or less. What's your thoughts on Dead Island 2? Which looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm not interested in it.
Nah, I thought you might not be though.
Because I played a little bit of the first one, but it wasn't good, and I typically don't play sequels if I didn't beat the first one. And the fact that they took
8 years,
like 13 years. Oh, 8 years? It feels like longer than that, and like 8 delays. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say I still don't think the game is gonna be great at all.
It's getting like an Atomic Heart kind of vibes for you in terms of performance.
After all those delays, I still don't see because when you have too many delays, that's the point. You're getting into territory where it makes the game worse rather than better. So I'm gonna say a 79, maybe an 80.
I'm gonna say 86, only because some people are because some people are here. I'm hearing from the grapevine, no NDAs, Asa, as far as I'm aware, but it's apparently a very fun game, very good, better than what's it called, Dying Light 2. And visually, this game looks. It's there right now. It's so good. Sometimes it makes me side-eye. Like, how is this really accurate? But I think people will be. I'm hoping it'll be impressive. I didn't actually play the first game that much. I played a little bit, like minutes, and I was like, "It's not for me." But this game looks really good. I know Colt's massively looking forward to it. Phase 23, Brooklyn, New York with a $2 super chat goes, Horizon Forbidden West DLC comes out in 2 weeks. No trailer yet. We saw the whole clouds and water thing, but I'm not really a massive thingy fan. But the game looks good. The health bar stuff kind of pissed me off. I hate that in a lot of games like this where there's like a lot of numbers flying in. That's why the Division annoyed me with human enemies.
You can turn it off now, usually.
Yeah, you can turn it off.
Yeah, you can turn it off, but it's just the fact that it exists. Like, would you turn it off and give yourself a disadvantage? Well, I do that on Forza Horizon. I turn everything off, but in terms of a HUD. But the game looks beautiful, but I've seen this kind of gameplay, like sizzle reel before. How accurate it is, I don't know, but it's what I heard in the background that kind of changed my mind on it. This might actually be a good game. But I would have agreed with you, like 79 meta. But based on what I'm hearing, I'm a fickle man, I would say 85, 86. Don't be surprised. Hopefully it hits. But geez, that was freaking raw. I gotta let you know. There are
there are people that are very good at what they do, and they're very good at making highlighting the really good parts of mediocre games. And this could be that situation. Like, there are just I think they're very talented what they do. They should get a raise, because there's the people who are able to just create a trailer to make a game look way better than it actually is. They're the unsung heroes. They're the unsung heroes of the industry. So I think that's what this is. That's what I think.
IGN are definitely not unsung heroes, because they made Redfall look like shit. Undid all the work of Arcane Austin. But yeah, we'll see. We'll find out what happens with this game. Lots of games coming out. So your backlog, just finish Resident Evil 4 again for the 6th time, because we're going to be swimming in some games. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it has been... BG is super pessimistic, but it's not without reason. Like I said, he's pretty accurate on his assessments. We'll see. And I still remember your Starfield predictions, BG. So I'm holding you to that. Let's see how that fares. And
what is my? I don't even remember no more. What did I say?
You said something along the lines like, Starfield is like going to ban for the wrong reasons, basically implying that it's going to be not that great. But that was ages ago until we saw the gameplay. But that was years ago. I just remember that interaction between you and I don't know who it was, maybe Cole. But I don't remember. I didn't keep that receipt. But on that note, gents, thank you so much. Everyone in chat who chat shit about it. I know you love the show. I saw it. People in the chat just saw some PlayStation guys and you cried like you always do. And then you love the show. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we have to give these two gents their outros. First of all, Johnny man, Jack moves Johnny, whatever the fuck. I hope you had a good time, man. I hope you had a good time on the show.
Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for having me, man. Nice to meet you, Asa. I rarely do guest appearances on podcasts now, man. This game should be having me kind of tilted, but I appreciate y'all for having me on. Good show, Weapon Wheel Podcast Sundays at it's 4:45 Central Time. The only respectable time zone. Y'all tune in, man. Me and BG over there, I'm constantly making them look like an idiot on a weekly basis. It's a beautiful thing, really, people. Y'all should tune in. Appreciate you.
Absolutely should. It is one of my favorite shows, and I'm not saying it. It's pretty messy in chat. Very messy, more than we are. But last but certainly not least, BG, thank you so much again for gracing us with your presence. I hope you had a wicked time on the show, and tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, man. Appreciate the invite. Weapon Wheel Podcast is on Sundays, 5:45 EST, God's chosen time zone.
Oh, brother.
And Jack, don't be late. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't even want to do a show tomorrow. I'm not saying we not.
Hold on. What's going on?
I'm not saying we not. I'm just saying
Come on now.
there wasn't enough stuff this week that I was like, oh yeah, I don't. Well, we gonna do it.
Did you tell them we do an 11-hour podcast, bro? We start at 4 in the afternoon and we don't end till like 1, 2 in the morning, bro. Like
Loki.
It's crazy.
Because we do After Dark, which is on our Patreon.
We do 2 podcasts in a row. It's crazy.
That's mad. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
So y'all come check us out, man. It's you never know what you might get Sunday to Sunday. I think last week Jack wished death upon all our viewers, and he was
that was the week before last. Beautiful situation. I still meant what I said too. Shout out to that.
Okay.
Beautiful,
crazy.
Yeah, but definitely check these guys out. As you can tell, like we wouldn't ever wish death upon you, but we would still endorse Weapon Wheel Podcast, man. They're great guys. Thank you so much for killing it. Asa, out of time, tell the peoples what shit VR game you're playing and where they can find you.
You can find me on my channel doing all kinds of stuff. There's some VR games. There's some Diablo 3 hardcore runs that always end really well. There's going to be loads of embargoes broken. I've got all the inside information, and I don't give a shit what I say. So anything I know, I share with the world. Yeah, what you up to, Gaz?
I'm going to finally play Sekiro, and on my channel, I'm streaming it from start to finish, so you can see me cry about that game.
Yeah, you about to get your they about to check your colon.
They about to check
your prostate on that game.
And I'm going to be doing it live, so the prostate exam will be available for everyone. It's on chat called Septic Source. That's me. Why don't I keep my VODs public? I just want to do
Shame, because he's a fail cake.
No, it was fun, but I just want to quality thumbnails, branding. I'm starting to do it. You can see it from my little image there. But tomorrow, I might do it. But I loved streaming. I actually loved streaming. I did it for the first time after a long time. So tomorrow, I'll set the day and follow me on Twitter on GameOnDaily, and I'll tell you when I'm doing exactly. It's Ramadan, so it might be after I break my fast. Shout out to everyone who joined the show. Thank you so much, everyone who joined. Thank you again, both you gents. You killed it. It was such a good show, and we went way past the 2-hour mark, as always, when we have great shows. So thank
Jack,
you.
Jack, don't you celebrate Ramadan? I saw you eating pork. Didn't I see you?
Don't do that.
I saw you eating pork.
I like pork too much, man. You know, respect to y'all, man. Salute to y'all.
Come on, man.
It's not that bad when you don't know what you're missing, Xbox and games. But yeah, shout out to everyone. Hit that like button and hopefully have some videos, but bear with us and we'll see you soon. Take care.
Peace.